pork and beans. Oh, I don't care if the grease ain't burning. I don't care if the food ain't free. I don't care when your ass starts to cooking. I got me a plate of pork and beans. I got me a plate of pork and beans. I got me a plate of pork and beans. I got me a plate of pork and beans. I got me a plate of pork and beans.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, citizens of planet Earth and beyond, stretching far off into the galaxy, as far as your mind's eye and your imagination can take you. Welcome to the Pork and Bean Show, starring Pork Cunningham and Frank Oliver Baines. We're going to introduce you to new thoughts, put questions in your head, and consider things you've never considered before. Where the paranormal becomes the normal, where unreal becomes real, and where love is everything. Fasten your seatbelts and enjoy the ride.
Oh, yeah? Well, me and the Lord, we got an understanding. We're on a mission from God.
Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running.
Now,
Well, let me get dressed before I go live.
okie dokie.
Okie dokie. No, I just, I was thinking like judgment is the biggest plague in humanity. It is the single biggest plague. It's worse than any disease, anything, because we can get into it. But fear is birthed by judgment.
We were afraid of judgment. What will people think? You see, that we're afraid of being judged.
Yeah, as soon as we look at somebody, we're going through a whole checklist of judgments. I don't like their lipstick. And then there's a judgment because of that.
They're richer than I am, or smarter than I am.
And once you have that one judgment, it's a building of the judgments, and you never see the true. You never see the true person. You never see the true being. You never get the essence of them.
No, you go right into a wonderland of guilt and shame and anger and push back.
Yeah, the only thing that isn't ruled by judgment. Well, I'd have to really think about it. But love.
Yeah.
Love. There's no judgment in love.
I'm gonna need a screen share. I'm gonna need to screen share.
Okay, she's waiting to get on. So, are you sure my voice is better?
It's nice. Yeah, it's really nice.
It's really nice. It's Steve is smooth.
Nice. Well, you have a nice manly voice.
It's smooth. You gotta sing that song. I love that. I'm gonna introduce. When we get on the air, I just gotta put my shirt on. Then
I am so beautiful.
Save it for live.
I'm everything I ask for. I'm everything I need. Put on your clothes because they're burning my eyes, please. Oh, God, man. Why do you have to stand in front of the camera while you're putting on your shirt?
Okay. Okay, so when I say introduce you as the world's most beautiful man, you start singing that song.
Yeah.
I hope her internet is better today. You say hi to her when she comes in. I'm going to go grab some coffee.
Did you let her in?
Yeah.
Maybe restart the router and plug it from the wall.
What's that?
I said maybe we need to restart the router and unplug it from
What
the wall.
happened?
Because sometimes the internet's weird.
What happened? You didn't let that. You didn't allow. Oh, oh yeah, the coastal chick is here. There's a coastal chick. You don't have a microphone on yet. There's a microphone, and it's not turned on. I don't know if you can hear. Yeah, look at there's. I can see your microphone. I can see your. Yeah,
How's that?
it's pretty good, but your voice is woo tiny.
Is that better?
Turn up your volume on your computer.
It's on a tablet. That's all I've got here. Let's see. How's that?
Should have. It sounds like you're talking from the bathroom.
Oh,
It's like real low. Keep talking. Just say things like test, test, test.
test, test, test. Is that any
Yeah.
better?
No, it's terrible.
Oh,
It sounds like this. It sounds like you're in the other room or something.
damn it. All right, how's that? Where's the microphone?
That's a little better. What?
I'm talking right at the mic.
Yeah, okay, do it that way. Well, look, what is that? Is that a spa? You got a spa in your bedroom? You got a spa? How spa? That's fabulous.
This is my back room, which my husband termed the goddess room, and that is an infrared sauna.
I know, it's a little sauna spa thing. We're not. This is going to be terrible. You need to project like you're talking across the room, shouting at people. Try
Okay.
shouting.
You're in the very back of the room. Am I reaching you?
That's barely adequate.
Oh my God, really? I guess I don't have a microphone.
That doesn't matter. You're using a tablet, huh?
Yeah.
Well, you can't.
Yeah, I'm using like a brand new top of the line tablet.
Yeah, can you just turn up the volume on your tablet? Like the sound,
That's a
it's
very
not the
top.
microphone volume, just the sound volume.
Oh, okay. Hang on a second here. It's actually not
Because when
mine.
you turn
So
up the
let me.
sound volume, it also turns up your mic volume.
Uh-oh.
And
Hey,
how do-
Beans.
What?
How do I do that?
We're having that Facebook problem again.
As in it doesn't start the Facebook?
It's just graying out, flashing, graying out. It's not going. Yeah. What the heck?
Yeah, and you started a little bit late here, buddy boy, so you can't redo everything.
I'm just trying to figure out how to get into the settings. It's not my tablet.
Oh, well, that's chaos. That's good. You know, you're right in line.
Well,
Oh, there you go.
hey, do you want to try the alternative way that you were talking about?
When we did the messenger video, the sound was great.
This
so.
is great. That's much better. Whatever you did was better.
Okay, Beans. What
Didn't
can you do?
anything.
This sucks.
Oh
This
man.
How come it worked yesterday and it doesn't work today?
I have no idea.
We're trying to get on Facebook Live.
Okay.
It's not
I'm
working.
gonna try and see if I can get in here. Is the sound still really bad?
No, it's better. It's a little better.
Let's see. Better?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Well, what did you
get
do
into
last
some kind of
time?
settings
Was it
here.
just magic or the grace of the gurus or something? What?
When I talked to you before, it was on Messenger.
Oh yeah.
And when I
This is much
tried
better.
to
I
get
can
onto your show
we can live with this. However, we have chaos on our end where we can't actually go to Facebook Live because the biggest application in the world, the biggest website in the world is Facebook. and it won't talk to the biggest, what do you call it? Meeting thing, Zoom. Zoom and Facebook don't communicate. Can you believe that? Strange.
Well, I can believe it. Who communicates in the world these days?
I don't know.
Nobody communicates. We just judge each other, right? No real communication going on.
Yeah, there's no communication.
You know?
Well, listen, here's what you do. Here's what you try this. We'll just try this, okay?
All right.
I'm talking to Brian. So, Brian, go on to Pork and Bean Show.
Okay. Is my voice still better?
It's better, yeah.
Okay.
Yours is lower and hers is higher. We have magic behind the scene. We just can't go public like it.
Okay.
So we're just gonna have a little talk by ourselves. That'll be great.
All right.
Well-
Well, good morning.
Well, no, I told everybody that we might have to go on YouTube Live, which is not as good, but at least they can join us there.
Yeah. But
Okay.
Here's what
Okay,
you
so
do.
I'm in the Pork and Bean Show. I'm there.
When you go to the Pork and Beans Show, then you go live, right?
Hold on a second. Where did I see that again? Where is that again?
Whereas what?
Oh, wait a minute. Where it says go live.
First, you have to start a post, like you're going to start a post, like you're going to type something.
Oh, right. Okay. There we go. Okay, there we go, Beans.
Then you go to more.
Yeah.
Then you go to Facebook. Then you go to live.
Okay.
And once you're in live, tell me when you got the live screen.
Oh, you know what? I think it's going to work.
When you go live, tell me when you got the live screen, and then
I've got it.
Yeah, you got what? Facebook Live?
Yeah, hang on a minute. Okay, so,
You look real nice. Do people just call you Coastal, or is that's your internet name?
Yeah, that's my pseudonym. Makes me feel like a superhero.
Coastal Chick. Yeah.
Coastal chick. That's what I am. I'm a chick that grew up on the coast.
Cool. Which coast? West Coast?
Yeah, I'm on the northern part of Vancouver Island.
Oh wow, you're like neighbors with Mr. Cunning.
I'm across the street.
hey, Beans.
Yeah.
I can't. Everything's working except for when I try to press go live now, it won't let me do it.
On Facebook?
Yeah, on Facebook.
Oh, all right. We ran into this yesterday. That's because you got your camera not running. Was the camera running in there? On the Facebook Live? You scroll down and you should be able to, if it's just a black screen, then your camera's not running.
How do I? Oh, okay, yeah, right. How do I do that?
You would have to go into your settings on your computer, which you can't do today. Go into the settings on your computer and enable the use of your camera for Facebook and Zoom. But it's working on Zoom, so
Well, do you know how to do that?
no, I don't. Let me try it. Okay.
That's bizarre. That every time it only seems to. I've done 2 or 3 tests now when I wasn't on the show, and they worked.
And you never got a hold of those people, right?
I can't get a hold of them. They want some kind of number or something that I don't know what it is.
You just haven't you haven't gone to the right page or what,
No, man. I phoned 3 different numbers. They said because of COVID-19 and blah, 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 we were only serving professional customers and you have to have some kind of pass or number or something. Oh, wait a minute. Schedule a live video. Maybe I can do it like that.
No, don't even think about it, man.
Yeah, but if I schedule it for like a minute, right?
Yeah, well, you can try keep trying. Who knows? We got it working yesterday.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I don't.
What do I got here?
Oh, wait a minute.
How did that? How come I'm doing this and it's? Yeah.
Yeah, this is a comedy of errors every show. We shouldn't be having these technical difficulties.
Yeah. When you get up late, that's what happens. Okay. What are we going to talk about? So I'm going to
Hold on a
put
second.
a little description. What the hell are you about? I'm getting ready to go live here. You're telling me to hold on. Okay.
Ah, for Pete's sakes.
Wait a minute. Okay, so let's see how we did that. That was pretty good. Say hello, everybody, because it's not yet. Almost spinning.
I give up on this thing for now.
Spinning, 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 spinning. Live. Okay, say hello to everybody.
But we're live now?
We're on Facebook Live.
We are?
Stop interrupting me. We're on Facebook Live. On I think we're on
We're not on. What are you talking about? We're not on Facebook Live.
We are on Facebook Live because I started a Facebook Live and I added the Zoom room to the Facebook Live.
You did all that while I was messing around trying to do my thing?
Go to the Pork and Bean Show on Facebook and see if it's running. That's the way to do it. I can't leave here. I can't leave the Facebook Live because I'm running the Facebook Live. I have to open a new window. Well, we're having fun.
Hey, we are live. How did that happen, Beans?
I told you, man, that was alternate 2, which you didn't let me even try yesterday because you're like, wait a minute, stop, wait a minute.
So, how did you do that?
Facebook Live is running on my account because my computer will run on two applications at the same time and yours won't. And look,
Okay.
we already have a message there from Maureen. Hi, you're live for me.
Hey, so let me ask you something. Can I ask you a question?
Keep the recording going because you're going to need the recording for later.
Can I
send this to YouTube.
Can I ask you a question, Beans?
Go ahead.
Why didn't you do this the last 2 times?
Because I didn't know that it was going to be an issue of your epic failure.
You mean after trying to do it for an hour and a half, you didn't realize we were having an issue?
I told you we had a backup plan yesterday and you didn't hear me.
Okay, I'm going to go and see then. This is good then.
What you got to do is put your thinking cap on and figure out why you can't go from Zoom to Facebook Live. You did it yesterday, worked great.
Well, maybe it's not important if you can do it.
No, it's important.
Anyway,
this is secondary. This is a secondary in quality to the one, you know.
This is This is.
I'm so beautiful to me.
Hey, wait a minute.
What?
I thought I was supposed to introduce you before you did that. Oh, do it. Do it.
Go ahead, man. Start the show. I'm just waiting on you. I'm just waiting.
Okay, I'm just gonna see if I can. I'm just gonna see if I can get on YouTube now too, because I do know some friends that don't like Facebook. So if we can do YouTube at the same time, that's cool. Hey, it's gonna work. It's gonna work too.
You guys hear me still?
Yeah, you sound delightful.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Really? Awesome. Must have been enough coffee and some electronic magic.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Well, I took my rock the Sasquatch gave me and put it right beside the microphone.
That would do it.
It's right beside there.
Brian, just say wait a minute one more time, okay?
Hey, we're almost on YouTube now too.
It says meeting is now streaming live on YouTube. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
It is?
Hallelujah.
All right, man.
Okay, start the show because what I gotta have to do is open a new window and then I gotta share it because you don't know how to share. You're not a sharing person.
That's a kindergarten fail.
Okay, I turned the sound down. Okay, so you know what?
What? Start the show, Brian.
Hang on a second, Beans. I'm having some issues here.
You see? He doesn't know how to share.
Okay, so we're on YouTube
We're on YouTube.
and we're on Facebook.
We're on Facebook. You're on YouTube, I'm on Facebook, and we're all in this together. It is complete chaos.
Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
There seems hear that? Wait a minute. That's the mating call for a Port Cunningham.
Hang on a second, Beans. Beans. I've got the other show going on in my ear. Can you hear the other one? Can you hear the Facebook YouTube one?
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Oh boy.
I don't hear anything on that level. But I'm not on YouTube, so what I want to do is go to the Pork and Beans show. This is good. Well, at least we're recording it, so the worst case scenario, we can just load it up and send it out.
Hey, now wait a minute.
Wait a minute. This is the mating call.
I think I got an issue here. I don't think I can turn the sound down on the YouTube one and listen to this. Because when I turn the sound down on for Pete's sakes.
Just start talking about the show. It's not even worry about it.
What's that?
Just start talking about the show. Don't worry about it.
Beans, I can't. I've got to take it off of I guess I got to take it off of YouTube because when I turn the sound down.
Go to YouTube and turn the volume down on YouTube.
Can I explain it to you?
If it's as long as it's chaos, I'm good. Yeah.
When I turn the sound down on YouTube, okay, I can't hear you live here for some reason. So I guess we won't be on YouTube.
Well, you can just record it and put it on YouTube later. It's too bad, but that's the way it goes.
Okay. We're on Facebook. That's the main thing, right?
Yeah. YouTube and Facebook are not in sync. Got to pick one or the other. That's what she said. That's what she's got them both going on. Anyway, click to expand.
Okay.
You can just record it and put it on YouTube later. It's too bad, but that's the way it goes. All right. So now, can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah.
Okay. Please start the show and give me a few minutes to share our Facebook Live across the nation. across the seas, across the world. Okay?
And the universe.
Yeah, you're failing at your job. First job is to take care of your guest and start the show. Okay.
Okay.
Back in 5.
That guy really makes it difficult because I have to start the show with him. But okay, let's. How you doing today?
I'm actually really excited to be meeting you. Hi, Brian. Nice to meet you.
Who's that? I'm Port Cunningham.
Oh, sorry. Mr. Port.
I'm incognito.
Well, so am I.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
can have a name.
I don't think Coastal Chick was your birth name. Although you never know. Frank Zappa named his kids some pretty wild stuff. I think Moon Unit was one.
But it's close.
What's that?
Right. Wasn't that a Zappa's kid? Frank Zappa's kid, right?
Yeah, one was called Moon Unit.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
And Dweezil, I think was another one.
Yeah. I like the Wolfgang Van Halen. I thought that was a good one.
Which one?
Wolfgang, that's a cool name. I could get behind that.
What, Wolfgang?
Wolfgang Van Halen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool name. What?
Is the sound all right?
Yeah, you're breaking up again. What's going on?
I don't know. I'm right beside the microphone again.
It says it says your network bandwidth is low.
Oh, I was worried about this. It's Thanksgiving weekend, and I live in a very small town where the internet is shared between 2,000 people.
Oh.
So if everybody's on the internet, it slows it down.
Yeah, I'd say there's 1,896 of them on.
Yeah. That's how it works here. I was a little worried about that.
Oh.
Sound all right. Keep going.
That's out of my hands. I can't do anything about that one.
Don't let Brian stop you. Keep going.
Keep going
All
where?
right.
We're talking about the internet connection. What do you want me to keep going on, Beans?
Hi, this is Mike. This is Frank Oliver Beans.
And I am Frank Cunningham, and this is the Pork and Beans Show.
You're Pork Cunningham.
Hey, by the way, Mr. Beans is the world's handsomest man, and didn't you write a song about that, Beans?
Yeah, but I'm busy, so you have to do that when I'm not busy.
Oh, for Pete's sakes, man.
I'm so beautiful to me. Can't you see? I'm everything I ask for. I'm everything I need. I am so beautiful.
Oh, that really cheered me up there, Beans. You're beautiful. Your beauty is blinding.
You guys are hilarious.
What an absolute beautiful voice he has. It's just like from the gods, from the heavens.
My dog just covered her ears.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's never heard anything like that before, right? Wow. So, it looks like Beans is, as usual, he's ruining the flow of the show. So let's just get into it. Tell us about you. Tell us about yourself, and how did you get into the? How did you get into your wherever you're at now? I'm sorry. I'm really good with words this morning.
Yeah, I haven't had enough coffee yet either. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I just woke up.
Yeah, I'm there. Let's see, I'm coastal Vancouver Island, way up north. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I look up.
Where is that? Where's that?
Up in like northern Vancouver Island, like the Campbell State area, facing the mainland. I'm way up there.
Oh, okay. I know a friend who lived in Gold River.
So,
Are you around there?
Area. Yeah, I'm between like Campbell River and the Gold River area. I'm more north than Gold River.
Oh, okay.
So I'm a couple hours away from Gold River. So
Because my friend told me there's a lot of Sasquatch activity up in that area, up in Gold River and stuff. He said he grew up with it all his life.
oh
So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you do. I look out my back window and there's a mountain, and I look out my front window and there's a mountain. I'm literally surrounded. I can hear them calling in the mountains occasionally out my front door.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
Well, I want to hear
they're
about that.
they're
I want to hear about that. But tell us how your first introduction to them, or when you became aware that Sasquatch was a
what do you
real being.
Did you say bean?
well, the first time I became physically aware, the first time I was physically aware, I was actually in Alberta. I was up in the Grand Prairie, Alberta area, and my family and I would go down to the O'Brien Park, and it was winter, and it was minus 30, and we'd had some fresh snow, and we went down to make a hole in the snow and have a hot dog roast because we're crazy. And we got down to the beach, and there was these massive human looking, like a barefoot human footprints in the frozen sand. I mean, the river is partially frozen, it's cold, and the prints were huge. They were far larger than my husband's window, and they were sunk into the frozen ground. That was like concrete, probably a good inch. And I could not leap. My husband could not jump from print to print. And they left that frozen concrete sand, went straight up a bank and across the park, across the highway, and straight a mountain on the other side. And the snow was mid-thigh deep on me. I'm about 5'5", and there was no drag mark in between these massive footprints. I could not jump from them. They were just huge. And that was a real eye opener. So that was the
Yeah.
first time I really became physically aware that, okay, they're here. I already believed they were real because of seeing the Patty film. I mean, you could tell that was a real being, but that was the first wow. So then fast forward several years, I moved back up to my hometown, and we went camping, and I heard something walking in the bush the whole night we were there. And I had this feeling of being watched, and it was obviously a bipedal footstep. Yeah, I'm very rural, so I know all the animal sounds, the whole story. I know what elk and deer and bear sound like. And they were walking around in the bush the entire night that we were there. And nothing scared them away. If it was a bear or a deer or an elk, the noises we made would have scared them away.
Wow.
So numerous kind of noise. Yeah. So then last year, my mom and I were walking down a favorite trail, and we heard a very distinct wood knock. And it was like, okay. 2 days later, we went back and walked the same trail and got a whistle. And I was like, okay, all right, they're definitely here in the neighborhood. And then my mom and my niece were walking the road beside my house and had someone following them, bipedal and large, following them in the bush at 10 o'clock at night in the dark, whacking trees as it was following them.
Wow.
Yeah. So literally right in my backyard.
Yeah.
Honey.
Okay. My girlfriend, this is weird. You want to hear something funny?
Of course.
She's typing me. She says she can hardly hear me.
Weird.
She says she can only hear Mike. She can hardly hear you and can hardly hear me. That's unusual.
Really?
Fine.
I can
What's
hear
that?
both of you perfectly.
Maybe it's just her. Okay. Well, so when was all this happening? How many years ago?
This was last year.
Oh, just last year.
Yeah,
Oh.
this was just in the last year, last summer, fall.
Oh.
And so, yeah, so I'm like, okay, so I started having I put mental conversations out there. I would breathe into my heart and I started putting out there like, okay, Sasquatch beings, forest people, I know you're there. I know you're there. I'm not going to go out and look for you. I'm not going to search for footprints. I think it's disrespectful. But I'm very curious, but I don't want to have any negative interactions with you. And I'm here. And if you ever want to communicate with me or share a message, I'm here. And I didn't think too much more about it. I just did that a couple times. And then I just in the morning, I'd send out a greeting, good morning, happy hunting. And I know you're there. I know you're there. And one day I'm like, wouldn't that be interesting if I got an answer? 3 days later, I was sitting in my living room having a cup of coffee with my husband. And all of a sudden it was like a tractor beam, like a beam freezing me in place, going from the mountain across from my house to me. And I couldn't move. I was frozen in place mid conversation. And I hear this tremendous voice in my head say, I see you.
Wow.
And at that point, at that moment, I saw my entire inside of my body. I saw my heart beating. I saw every organ. I saw what the inside of my body looks like. It was the most humbling experience of my life. And I was frozen. And then like that, it was gone. And I just turned to my husband and I was almost speechless. It was like, how people describe like that predator type of thing. You see the Predator movie and the predator could see his prey and he could see them in infrared and their hearts beating and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That was me. And I was like, wow.
How are you seeing it? In your mind's eye?
In my head, it was a whole mental picture. But the interesting thing was I couldn't move. And I knew where it was coming from. It was like up the road, across the road, and up at an area in the mountain that I've never even looked at. I've never noticed. I look out my window and I see mountain.
So it would be like 5 kilometers, 2 kilometers? What do you think? What do you think?
Maybe a couple kilometers, maybe. Right there. And then it was like being under a spell. I couldn't move and then it broke and it was mind-blowing. I was very shaken for the next few days because obviously nothing like that had ever happened. And that was the only message I got was, I see you. And I was really shaken. I was like, did I just lose my mind? Or am I now prey? And it took a little bit to realize that the reality that we think that we're so secure in our buildings and our areas. I was sitting in my house and there was like, it didn't matter that there was walls of any sort. So a couple days later, my husband was having a shower and it was nighttime and I was sitting on my bed and all of a sudden I started getting mental images in my head. And they started to tell me, and I could hear like it was, I don't know if it was all like words or images or feelings all combined. But they started to tell me that they are starting to wake up mankind, that they're trying to do it. It's urgent, but they don't want to shock people. And they showed me that, they showed me that they could see, they showed me my entire street. And it was nighttime. They showed me every person in the houses on my street in like an infrared. I could see all of my neighbors in their houses.
So you're
Wow.
saying, do you feel that the Sasquatch can see into, from miles away or kilometers away, they can see into people, into their hearts, into their homes? Do you feel like that's a possibility that's happening?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So they showed me that they showed me all these people. And then they showed me that it was like I was up in the sky and it was dark and I could see lights of the world. And they told me that was all the people they had to wake up.
Wow.
And that it was a huge task. And
amazing.
That was sort of the end of it. And for that night, and I was just, like I said, I was really shaken. I was like, am I having a mental episode? Because I've never seen people in their houses, like their heartbeats and their energy. And I could see people's electronics. I could see if their TVs were on. I could see people and if their TVs were on. And they were telling me that,
have you retained any of this since that? Can you do that now to some extent, or?
No, anytime I've had an interaction with them, the effects of it last about an hour.
Okay.
It's and Mr. Beans actually gave me a really good insight later on. So that was kind of the start of it. And it was pretty mind-blowing. So then I started to get the next time.
Let me, before you move on from this is just mind-blowing, fantastic. When you had this view of the whole world or the whole region, how many people did you get the feeling that needed to be waked up?
They said, like the stars in the sky. Stars in the sky, they said. Like so many people.
Oh, so many people, yeah.
Like the stars in the sky, yeah.
Right.
How many people do you know in your neighborhood? Can you phone them and tell them to get off the internet? That'll only take a couple hours, right, to phone 1,800 people?
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
Well, that's it's just so amazing how diversified. Like it's basically exactly what I've been taught too, whatever. But it's just like in a unique way with you. That's amazing. It's just like there's just unlimited the ways that they can reach us and interact with us. And I mean, what happened to you is unbelievable. It's great.
Yeah. Well, I feel that way now because I've had numerous positive experiences, but that first time that mind speak in my head it caught me off guard and it was so scary.
Yeah. But let me ask you though, you said that, okay, you haven't maybe carried those abilities forward. I think in my case I have somewhat, but I was definitely changed. Like when I had my Love Zap, which is basically kind of like what you had, except different. It just, like you had the feeling of connection and stuff, right? When this is going on. I was never the same after that. Totally changed. So you must have been changed.
Oh yeah. I definitely have some things that have happened. I have definitely had my connection with animals amplified. Absolutely amplified to the point where I feel like I'm reading their minds. And with people, the most recent experience left me with a stronger psychic ability. It definitely amplified it.
Yeah. I think they're definitely waking us up to the abilities latent abilities that we do have. I mean, because you can see all these people who are being contacted by Sasquatch and guides and different entities. They're becoming more psychic. They're becoming more intuitive, more heartfelt. Just totally changed. So, yeah, it's beautiful.
How exciting what you're saying. What you're saying is so exciting that we want to talk over you. But why don't you go back to the chronological order of at the end of the having the vision of everybody in the neighborhood and the big voice in your head and seeing them a couple of kilometers away. Then what happened?
In that experience with them showing me everybody in the neighborhood, they told me that we all had those abilities at one time. We still have them, that we're being blinded.
Mm-hmm.
Like our abilities were not, people don't know that we have those innate abilities. We have them. We all have them. And every time that I've had an experience with them afterwards, everything around me is in like 4D, 5D. It's insane. The colors, it's so amazingly beautiful that it makes me tear up. And I'm sad when it goes away after the effect sort of fades, but it feels like every time I leave a little bit of a residue with me where everything is just so much brighter, so much bolder. It's amazing. So so after that experience, it they started to let me know, like I would get kind of mental images and thoughts and word pictures in my mind. And it feels like every time that they've had a connection, a communication with me, it feels like every time they show me more. Like it's like baby steps. Like they don't want to give me too much at one time. Every time is more, and you probably know that, right, Brian? You know that more and more. And
Yes.
so the yeah, the next big experience that I had, I was I had kittens. My cat had kittens, and I was downstairs and I had one kitten that climbed up on my lap, put his paw on my arm and looked right in my eyes, like as if he was owning me. And all of a sudden I had that sensation of not being able to move again. I was kind of frozen in place. And then there was a young Sasquatch child. I felt their hands on my shoulders, and they peeked around my shoulder and were looking at the kitten in my lap and looking at my face with this big smile. I saw his eyes wrinkle at the corners and his mouth open in a smile. And I could feel his pleasure at the kitten and just this exuberance, this joyful exuberance. And I was kind of taken aback, and I didn't move, but I could feel the mother in the background. I could feel her energy there. And I just sent out the mental image of, I would never hurt your children. I would never do that. And I could feel this young Sasquatch bending over my shoulder and looking up at me and looking at the kitten and looking up at me. And it was amazing. And after that ended, it just kind of faded off. Well, I pictured myself placing food in the young Sasquatch's mouth. It faded off, and I was able to move. And I went outside into my greenhouse, and all my plants, I could see all my plants' energy and auras. And outside, everything was just, it would be like equivalent to like a psychedelic almost. You could almost see the trees pulsating. You could see everything was alive and breathing, and it was in 4D. And my plants, I could see all the colors and the energy of all the plants, and some of them had different colors. And after about an hour, it faded away.
Wow.
And every time I just feel amazing. I feel my whole body's connected. There's no pain. I just feel incredible, like I could fly for a couple hours after this has happened. So that was one of the next big interactions. And then I started to get just little thought messages, like I'd be doing something, then I got the message that you're part of our family now. We always see you. We always know where you are. You were always connected. And they showed me a mental image of them as white lights with a light string attaching each one of them and then attaching to me. And that it's forever now. So yeah. So, and then since then I've been like watching a show or something, and all of a sudden I've all of a sudden felt them tell me, like, this is real, what you're seeing, this is accurate, and I can feel their excitement about something. So yeah.
Well, I got some news on our broadcast.
Hang on a second. I got sound going on again in my ears. Is that me?
It's not working on Facebook too good. So we're gonna have to rely on the recording and the live on YouTube.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right. It's just chaos. But I mean, you got such a fantastic story. I want everybody to hear it, because this is like your very first interaction with the Sasquatch is totally paranormal, and actually it's amazing. because they're just in one shot. They kind of showed you everything. They're awakening people up, and they can see us from a distance. They're inside us and outside us, and they're willing to teach us. That's some pretty powerful messages, all in a nutshell.
It's amazing. It's changed my life. After that, I can never go back to before that. Now I'm different. Now, once you have that realization and that kind of connection and awakening, it colors everything. It's beautiful. So they led me to you guys. In fact, they're quite cheeky.
That just shows they have a sense of humor.
Oh,
That just shows you that they don't do everything right. What do you mean they led us to? Well, I mean, we all know that they connect people, but what do you mean that they led us to us guys? Is something specific or just?
We need help, right? We need help. We need to be. We're the ones that need to be like tuned in and help, and they enlighten us and wake us up.
Well,
actually, it was I was watching one of Rachel King's videos, and from Into the Veil. She's on your channel.
I love Rachel.
She's amazing. And I saw a comment that Mr. Beans had made on there, and I thought, this guy is exactly in the headspace that I'm in. He knows like what I'm feeling right now, and the experiences
I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm sorry.
I'm so beautiful to me.
I'm sorry you got cursed with a bean brain. So okay, so you saw Mr. Bean say something intelligent.
I did, and I had this push that I needed to contact him. I went to his page and watched his videos, and then I watched your guys' videos, and I went, it felt like it was being a nudge being pushed, and it was amazing. But so I kind of messed up chronologically. After I had that experience where they said, "I see you," and I was thrown off. A couple nights later, I went out, I opened my back door to let my dogs out, and it was really late at night, and I heard just outside the perimeter of my yard, about 50 feet away, I heard about an 800-pound owl. And I went, that's not an owl.
Yeah.
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 And then a couple days later, I went out, and it was about 5 a.m. This is an unusual time for me. I don't get up at 5 and let my dogs out in the backyard. This is very unusual. Summertime, I open it, and as I open the back door and I step out on my deck, this perfect, beautiful rock bounces off the platform at the bottom of my stairs. It came out of the bush where the owl sound came from previously and landed right at the platform. It just tossed perfectly. So I went down the stairs and I picked it up, and it was exactly the rock that I would have picked up if I'd seen it on the ground. It's absolutely perfect. It's beautiful. It's round, it sparkles. It is just gorgeous.
Wow. Nice.
Kind of greenish.
Yeah, it's like greenish with like these beautiful black sparkles on it.
Yeah.
And I picked it up and I said, thank you. And then another time I was out in my yard and I was painting, and I felt somebody watching me, and I looked up, and there's a big evergreen to the side of my yard. And this is about 50 feet away where I heard the owl sound come from. And I thought, wow, that tree, the base of that tree is huge. I don't remember it being that big. It almost looks like 2 trees growing there now. Huge. And then I'm like, oh, I'm losing my mind. It's not there. I'm like, I'll check next time. And I go outside next time, and it's gone. Just the tree is there, and I can see through the branches. And I was like, oh, okay. So there was one there just like 50 feet away watching me just painting in my backyard and loving life. They have told me that one of the reasons why they have connected with me is because of my connections with animals. I've always had a connection with animals. even as a child, stray cats on the side of the road would come up to me and let me pet them. It's just always been that way.
Makes sense.
I used to know. Yeah. So they told me that. It's just, it's hard to tell it all in chronological patterns because there's been so much. When you had sent me, I think it was Mr. Beans that sent me a thing saying you should come on the Pork and Beans show. I was really excited, and I saying to my husband, I'm like, wow, I'm like, I get to be on the Pork and Beans show. And then all of a sudden, I love you guys. You guys are amazing. I love
Oh,
your show. But are you
you got a
laughing?
message from Maureen Johnson. She said, being led to what we need. I'm living this in baby steps and needing to see and hear Coastal Chick right now. So you're having an impact on right now. People need to hear this. Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah, so I was excited and I said that to my husband, and then I get this, and I said, I'm like, that's too peoply for me because I'm really an introvert. I hang out with my animals. That's it. And I hear this voice in my head going, you think that's funny? We're going to send you to conference. I was like, what do you mean you're to send me to conference? What are you talking about? And I just get this kind of this, I can hear the Sasquatch laughter going on in my head. And I'm like, nope, I'm not ever going to do that. That's too much for me. That's too many people. I'm not comfortable with that. And I went outside and I'm like, I started painting because we're painting our house, and they're like, and you're going to sell your house. You're going to sell it for this much. And I'm like, yeah, because we're going to sell our house and build a tiny home so that I have more time to go out and be with the Sasquatch, because I feel like they're guiding me somewhere. And then I had this aha moment. And I went, I'm like, is this what you had in mind when I heard that wood knock and that whistle that day, those days? And I heard this really sheepish laughter, like busted. And what you said before about no space, no time, they knew I was going to be walking that trail.
Oh,
They
yeah.
knew what plans they had for me before it happened. All this whole idea of me selling my house and going into a tiny home so my husband can retire, I thought that was all my idea.
Yeah.
And it's not.
No, I've just for the no space and no time, I've had stuff happen 5 years before that they knew I was going to find 5 years. When I found it, I said, oh, okay, that's what they were doing. So there is absolutely they don't follow the 3D rules of no space and no time like we do.
Keep going, Coastal Chick.
So then
you're on a roll now. Keep rolling.
So I'm just I'm hearing this in my mind, like, really? I thought this was my plan and this wasn't even my plan. Like, you sneaky buggers. So I'm just processing this. And I walked into the house to do something. And I was given these little thought cards from a friend that, you read them every day. They're a positive affirmation of life. So I'm walking away and I get this message, go read your card. And I'm like, no, I don't. I had a sore ankle. I'm like, I'm not going back there. They're like, go read your card. So I'm like, okay. So I go back over there. I pick up a card that says, relax, trust in something greater than yourself. And I heard this laughter again in my head. And I'm like, oh man, just cheeky. And I realized then that whatever plans that I think are my plans, they're not necessarily my plans. There's something bigger going on. There really is, and I had an experience, which I think I told you about, Mr. Beans, when I'd had a rough week and I was really caught up in a lot of the American politics and what was going on. And it was really affecting me, the negativity, and I was sucked into that trap, and it was really messing with my energy. It was bugging me, and I had a relaxing time. I had a bath. I went laid on my bed. All of a sudden I felt that feeling like I couldn't move. And I thought, oh, here we go again. Here we go. And then I was on a mountain and I was on a Sasquatch, I felt my head on their chest and an arm wrapped around me. And I could hear, and I could see the dirt and the pine needles on the ground. And I could see over the edge, I could see a mountain, or I could see the ocean down below. And I could hear the waves, and I could hear the wind moving the tree branches, and I could smell everything, but I couldn't move. And the air was so warm and secure. And then I hear this voice in my head saying that all of that stuff that I'd been caught up in, that's not real. It's smoke screen. This is real. The ocean, the trees, the earth, our connection. This is real. This is forever. That is garbage. Calm your soul. And I was held, and I felt the most immense love that I just huge. And I don't even know how long it lasted, but at the same time, I was fully aware, like with the baby Sasquatch, that I was in my house on my bed, yet I could see all of this right in front of me and smell it and hear it. And then when it was over, I was surrounded in this bright gold yellow light. And that, like, I could, my whole area in my room where I was lit up in this light. And then it faded off, and I was just like, wow. And then I heard my husband come home, and I came out of the house, and he looked at me, and he stopped in his tracks. And he said, what happened? He said, I was taller. They had healed a spinal injury in my back. I was taller, and my eyes glowed like I had a light bulb on in my eyes until the next day. I didn't even go near people. I was scared to go near people because of the light that was shining out of my eyes.
Wow.
It was the most amazing experience.
So you're saying you had an actual healing where it healed your spine and you grew up an inch or two or something? Is that what you're saying? A Sasquatch healing?
Yeah, I was taller. A Sasquatch healing. The pain that was there in my back for the last 10 years was gone. And I was taller, and my eyes glowed like light bulbs were on. I just had this whole glow to the point where I didn't answer my door for the next day.
And so you're
That
taller right
was
now?
pretty intense.
You're still taller?
I haven't measured myself. Yeah.
Nice.
I stand way straighter. That pain that was there is gone. So, but when they said the conference thing, I was talking to my husband later on after that realization. I'm like, those cheeky buggers, they had this planned the whole time. I said, I'm not ready for that. And my husband spoke to them, and he's like a ex-military, very Capricorn, very down to earth. And if he hadn't seen me taller with glowing eyeballs, he probably would have been fairly skeptical. But he loves me and trusts me, so he's taking what I'm saying and my experiences for fact. But that blew him away. So then he started talking to them. He's saying, well, guys, you couldn't have picked a better ambassador because she's smart and she's well-spoken, and good job. And I said, hey, that's not funny. Don't you gang up on me. And they sent a mental image to my head for him. They showed me getting pushed onto a stage like vaudeville with a big black gloved hand pushing me on, and me stumbling onto a stage, and I could hear them laughing. And I gave him their message, and I felt like I was just part of a big joke from all of them, from him to me. They're cheeky. They're just amazing.
Well, it sounds to me like you're going to be doing some conferences.
Not if I have anything to do with it.
I think you will.
But it's for your own good, and you're gonna love it. They don't care what you feel like now. Then when it's happening, it's going to be for your own good, and you're going to love it. That's why they're laughing at you.
They're quite cheeky. One night while I was cleaning up the kitchen one night, and I was like, oh, I haven't heard from my Sasquatch family in so long. I'm like, maybe they're gone from me. And I was feeling sad. And then I heard this female voice in my head going, no, you just don't need us right now. You don't need help right now. You're good. We're busy. And they showed me that they were in, it looked like a forest somewhere nearby here. And they showed me, she told me that they were going to look for a plant, something to do with energy from that plant. They were looking for it. And I could see an area where they were, and it was really low carpeted of greenery, and it was under really big trees. There wasn't a lot of stuff growing other than this carpet of greenery. And she was just really cheeky. I'm like, oh, well, I feel better now that you've communicated with me. And I got this very cheeky, well, of course you do. Oh, you're cheeky.
So how long were they gone for?
And
Uh-oh.
it was probably what happened. So yeah, so I now know, like, they've let me know that they always know where I'm at. It doesn't matter. They always know how I'm feeling, what I'm doing, what I'm thinking. The connection is complete, that it'll never ever be severed.
No.
And no, and they've given other people messages through me. Somebody's asked me a question, and then I've sprouted off an answer, and then in my head I went, that didn't come from me at all. I ended up telling a friend that so many humans are packing around their own remote control device that they're being controlled by, and they don't even know it. Everybody walking around with a smartphone, they're walking around with their own remote control. They don't even realize it.
Thank God I'm not smart enough for one of those phones. Never had one.
Yeah.
But
So
have you found, I found early on when I had lulls or whatever, that when I came out on the other side of them, it was like it was in a simulation period almost, like I had a deeper understanding. That's happened, I don't know, at least
yes.
maybe a dozen times, but it seems like you have to have some time to sort of assimilate what you've learned so far, because it's overwhelming and vast.
Yeah.
So that's what I think too, part of it too. And plus, like you said, they got lives, right? They're busy. They actually have terrestrial lives. Yeah.
There's so much going on. Like, I'm just waking up to more and more of it, but the amazing connection I felt from them. Like, one day I was sitting in a chair and I was reading a book, and all of a sudden I felt the feeling of a giant hand just very tenderly cupping my head, like you would do to a child that you love, where you'd put a hand on your head and just held my head with this intense feeling of love and tenderness, like I was a goofy little kid that somebody was really affectionate towards.
Yeah.
And then it was gone.
Yeah. It's interesting, how they do different things with different people. Like, I've had literally thousands of experiences, but I've never ever been touched. But I've been camping with people who generally get touched. That's one of the things they do with them, and they were touched, when I was there, but I've never been
Wow.
touched. So it's interesting how they, for whatever reason, they kind of mix it up, give you different things. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really different. My last experience with them was so big, I'm almost scared to talk about it. It was so huge.
It's Halloween. We can take it. Halloween is coming.
Holy crap.
Let's get spooky.
Mr. Beans already knows about it. I told him after it happened.
Am I going to be scared?
You should be.
Okay.
Holy crap. Sound
Let me fasten my seatbelt and let's hear it.
Well, that's when the sound will go out, right?
See, Beans can't take it. He's got to go. Oh. He doesn't have much stamina. He's the world's handsomest man, but he's got no stamina.
Holy kule kule mabale.
You are
I
so.
have noticed that when I have a question, that if I have a question in my mind about something, I'll get the answer with any time between an hour or a few days. it'll come from another source.
Yeah.
Like a YouTube video or something will happen where the answer will be in my head, and then I'll be like, oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean.
They're very much about, yeah, they're very much about sending us on our path and giving us as much information and energy as we can deal with at one time.
Yeah. You know, I often will walk along and I talk about thought placement, right?
Yeah.
They'll put a thought in my head and then the answer is like right there, right away. You know,
Yeah.
like, I wonder if they're doing this, or I wonder, and then I see a glyph right there, right below me, like right then with the answer. You know, it's amazing. Yeah. It's fantastic.
Yeah. It is. I watched your video on glyphs and I was like, aw, how come Brian gets glyphs and you guys can do all this and I don't get a glyph? I'm like, that's not fair. And I wandered into my front yard and there in the corner of my yard was a little glyph.
Aw.
Like, are you serious? And I don't even know how long it was there for.
Yeah.
This is the fun with the all one, you know, fun with the all one, because that's what it is. The whole thing is about the all one, knowing what's going to happen, giving you what you want, asking questions, answering questions. The magic is just unbelievable.
It is. It's amazing, you know. And I said to them this morning, I'm like, you know, I'm excited about this experience to be talking with you guys, but I'm a little trepidatious because that opens me up to people, and you know, I'm not into people so much. And
well, you're
I'm
safe
not.
with us.
I'm like, if I could wear shirts,
We don't really qualify as people.
we're just part of the canopy.
I'm technically a legume.
Yeah.
So, and they were okay with it, but yeah, the last big experience that I had, and I'd like to share it with you, but if I get emotional, I'm sorry. I was having a hard time I was thinking about all the fires. Okay, and where I live, there was smoke everywhere. I couldn't see the road outside my house, even though I'm so far away from the fires that were happening down in California. And I had this realization that the smoke was actually the residue of living things burning. And it hit me really hard. Like I got hit with this intense grief where it just made me feel heartsick, just heartsick. And I was so sad, and I was like, there's nothing I can do, but I feel this pain and sick. And I went and I had a bath in the dark, and that's kind of my meditation place. I'm sitting in hot water, it's dark, and I empty my mind. And all of a sudden I was there, but I wasn't there. I was sitting in the dark on the ground somewhere, and I could feel I could feel Sasquatch sitting on either side of me. And I knew that I was in a circle. Somehow I knew that I was sitting in a circle. And
Just making coffee.
yeah. Good. I'm almost out. And I need more.
All right, take your headphones off, man. We can hear everything you're doing in the damn kitchen.
Just don't go to the bathroom.
Just don't go to the bathroom and keep your clothes on.
You can hear what I'm doing?
Yeah, we heard you pouring water and
Everything.
opening packages and stuff.
Well, that's good, isn't it? That's a little reality to the show. Okay, whatever you want, Beans.
This is the reality of Brian Bland.
I mean, you're a wizard. I'm just an elf, so I'll obey you, wise sir.
You can't
Just turn the mic off, for God's sake. How hard is that? Just turn the little mics off on Zoom, and then you're good. Do whatever you want. Turn your camera off too. All right, back to business.
Should I wait for him or no?
No, don't wait for him.
So
we have
sitting
10,000 people
on the
going to
ground.
be seeing this right now.
Okay, now you're scaring me.
Well,
so I feel that I'm sitting on
I'm
the
pretty sure we got 5 people watching.
High five, people. Sitting on the ground, and I can feel a vibration coming through the ground, through my body. And I'm in the dark, and then I realize that I'm sitting in a circle, and there's Sasquatches drumming the ground with their feet and their hands. And I can feel it. I feel it like I'm sitting on the ground, like I'm doing it, but I'm not doing it. And Mr. Beans, you gave me the insight that I was maybe in a Sasquatch, because, and I could feel the vibration of the ground, and they were singing. There was a singing song going on, and I was told, I somehow knew that it was ancient, that every Sasquatch knew the song, and they were humming and chanting the song while pounding the ground. And I had this feeling that the vibration and the drumming, it wasn't just for the song, it was doing something energetically. And then all of a sudden I could see this blackened, burnt ground. And I was feeling these waves of energy come through my body to the point where I didn't feel like I could physically handle it anymore. It was so huge. And I could feel it rocking through my body. I could feel the vibration of the song rocking through my body.
That's Brian Peeling. Brian, turn off the damn mic. What's the matter with you, man? What is the matter with you? You want everybody to pee. You hear you pee.
I'm pouring my coffee, man. I'm trying to hear the story.
Just
If I take my, then I can't hear. Yeah, but then I can't hear the story.
If you mute your mic, you can still hear the story. Doesn't
How
turn
can
off.
I hear? How can I hear it without my headphones on?
Just mute the mic on Zoom, man.
What
Zoom.
mic?
It's Zoom. You have a mic button on Zoom. Turn it off, and then you can go do whatever you want without bothering the whole nation. Sounds like peeing. You're peeing into a cup. Yeah, see, that's good. Now that's perfect. That's perfect. Can you still? There you go.
So I was, and the whole time this was happening, I was fully aware that I was sitting in my bathtub, and I was frozen. I couldn't move, and I was experiencing everything physically. Well, I knew where I was, but I was experiencing this, and I could smell the air in the trees, and I felt the vibrations of the feet pounding. And then I got this vision of this blackened ground, and I felt these pushes of energy come through me with the song. And then I saw little bits of green tendrils come up through this blackened ground. And then more plants came up. And then more plants came up. And every time there was this huge wave, this push of energy through me with this song, this chanting. And then I saw more plants come up and trees come up and little insects came back. And every time I felt another energy push, another group of life came back to this blackened area, insects, frogs, and then birds, and then all the ground creatures, until it just bigger and bigger and bigger and more, and birds and bears and deer, everything that needed to be in an ecosystem, until everything was completely whole. It was a whole perfect ecosystem, and everything was totally healed. And then all of a sudden, everything was surrounded in this white light. And I thought, okay, where is that coming from? And then all of a sudden, I was back in the circle, and the white light was coming from all of us in the circle. And it was coming up in this huge white energy column. And I could feel it coming out of my body and the bodies around me. And it came up, and the drumming was going. And I saw it go up. And then all of a sudden, I was up above the earth. I was up above the earth, looking at the earth, and this column of white light came up above the earth. And then it just did like a shockwave, just boom, across the universe, like a prismatic shockwave, just boom. And then all of a sudden I was back on the ground, and I was sitting in my bathtub, and I felt what gravity feels like, which I've never known. Like I said to you, Mr. Beans, that what gravity felt like, because I've never been without gravity. And I felt it. I felt the heavy weight of gravity. Then I could move. I could move again. And I could barely climb out of the bathtub. And I went into the bedroom where my husband was, and my legs were just shaking. And I sat down, and I was exhausted. I told my husband, I don't think I can do anymore. And then it was a little bit late. I told him what had happened, everything that had happened. And then it was a little bit later, and I was so tired. I felt like somebody had wrung me out like a dish rag, and I started to fall asleep. But right beforehand, I felt that pulling away, and I'm like, no, you guys, I can't do anymore. I can't. I'm tired. I don't have it in me. I'm like, I need to sleep. So I started to fall asleep, and then I woke up later, and I was so cold. It was the middle of summer, and we're weltering hot, but I was ice cold. And I hear this voice in my mind, well, go have a bath. And I thought, no, I don't want to have a bath. I've already had a bath tonight. We've had no rain. This doesn't make any sense. This isn't even logical. I'm just going to turn a heating pad on. And I turned my heating pad on, and I snuggled it, and I started to get warm, and I started to drift back to sleep. And I heard this, go have a bath. And I went, no. And then all of a sudden I was freezing cold. I had goosebumps all over my entire body, and my teeth were almost chattering. I was freezing so hard. I was shaking going into the bathroom to run a bath. And I was barely awake, and I ran the bath, and I got in it while the water was still running, and I went, okay, what do you want? And then I felt this energy of this female Sasquatch came to my side, and she said, my name is Eloy. And she gave me her name, and she's like, can I please go in your head? I'll be really gentle. And I said, okay, just okay, do what you need to do. Just, be gentle. She's like, and she said, thank you. And I felt her in my head, and I don't know how long it was for. And then she wasn't, and then she said, thank you. Like I felt the feeling of love and respect and gratitude and thank you. And then she was gone. And I barely made it back to my bed, and I passed out hard. And I don't know why she was in my head, but after that, my psychic abilities have been amped up intensely, where it's almost freaked me out a little bit, and I've tried to dial it down. So that was my last really big connection experience with them. And life has been incredibly busy since. So that was the last really big, you can't even describe how big it was. Like, I thought my physical body was going to blast apart from the energy that I felt going through it. So yeah, so that's where we're at.
I think that's a real experience that you're
Yeah.
having. And I've had something
Yeah.
similar to that. Like when I first understood that Sasquatch were in my house and that they were loving, intentful beings, I had some very powerful spiritual experiences. I said, well, listen, they can be in my house, and give them how to come in my house anytime. I said, you can come inside me too. I trust you to come inside me and visit. And then they do, and that's when the real magic happens, when you have that level of trust. And that's amazing that you have that level of trust.
I wanted to ask you, do you remember the chant or the drumming? Do you remember it?
It sounded like similar to when you've heard a native drumming chanting, but it was like a and then singing and chanting. I can't really remember it. It was more of like a mixed physical auditory experience, but it was chanting and singing, and it would go higher and it would come down, and it was like energy waves.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you could remember it and you played it. Do you have a native drum?
No, I don't. But after that experience, when I came out of after that had happened, I went out of my room and I went to pet my dog, and she was terrified of me. This is a dog that I can't move without tripping on. And I went to pet her, and she pulled her head back, and I could see the whites of her eyes, and she was shaking. She didn't want me touching her. But for like a couple hours after that, for an hour after that happened, before I was too tired and I had to sleep, the energy that was pumping out of me was incredible. But my dog was so scared of me. She wouldn't come near me. So Mr. Beans thought maybe that I was in a body of a Sasquatch experiencing this, which would explain why every time I have an experience, I feel like I can't move. I'm there, but I'm here. I see everything that's in my house, or what I'm doing, but I see everything else like there, like it's in front of me, smelling it, feeling it, seeing it. So yeah, I don't really have to say. So, nothing.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said at the end. You broke up, but
I just said, I said that's what's mainly happened, the last main things, and I don't really know what to say other than that, other than I survived, and it was intense, and it's mind blowing, and yeah.
yeah, is that all that happened? Gee, that's nothing.
That's it.
That's all it. That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Wow.
Right? Like they
Yeah.
left me hanging. That was a major cliffhanger, and then I haven't really had any communications so much since. Nothing like that. It was like the end of the best TV show in the world. You're waiting for the next episode.
Well, maybe you're in a simulation period or something. You know, I mean, that's a lot to digest, for
Yeah.
sure. Wow, unbelievable.
Wow.
Yep, I agree,
Yeah.
Beans. So, how many times have I mean, not it's not really that important.
I feel like this isn't your first time with Sasquatch. This is not like, your newborn spirit on the planet, and they just like picked you. No, this has been going on a long time before this little body happened. They know you.
I think so. I think they've known me. Yeah, they've known me for a long time. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I feel like completely integrated.
Absolutely.
That's why they give you the good stuff, and me and Brian, they just show sticks and stuff. That's all we get.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but her story is.
I'm joking, okay.
Her story is fantastic, though. I mean, that's some pretty amazing stuff, by anybody's standards. Pretty amazing stuff. So, just how many times have you seen them in the physical? I mean, that's with what you told us. Who like whoopee, but just for interest's sake.
In the physical, just that one time when I was outside and I saw one right 50 feet away in the tree beside my yard.
Yeah.
And I could just see a big, dark, huge, dark shape in behind the tree branches.
Well, that's still within a year, though, right? You've only been, yeah. I mean, it took me 3 or 4 years before I saw my first one, and I was in the woods almost every day. So.
Yeah, well, I remember.
I've never seen one yet, and I don't ever go in the woods.
Well, you're looking at one right here, Beans. I'm a Sasquatch.
But I have, yeah. You're absolutely, you're about 3/4 Sasquatch for sure. That's the thing. They come to you across time and space.
Yeah,
you see,
they're there. All I have to do is just close my eyes and reach out with the mental finger, and they're there all the time now. Yeah,
it really is a step up when you actually habituate with them, when they're like right in your backyard and stuff and living right there. Some of the most amazing stuff happens. Yeah.
Well, like they've said, they've shown me that time and distance is nothing. It's nothing. They're always there. They always know where I'm at. They know everything that's going on. Example, it sounds kind of funny, but I like watching Steve Isdall, How to Hunt. You guys know who he is, I'm sure. Yeah. So I got to meet him one time, and it had nothing to do with Sasquatch. He came into where I worked and we were chatting, and he just had this great energy. And then not too long after, I saw his first video when he started talking about his Sasquatch experience. And I went, hey, I know that guy. I met that guy. And I didn't realize that he'd grown up on Vancouver Island. So he's gotten just increasingly more involved, and he's learned a lot of stuff. And the Sasquatch told me when my husband and I were watching one of his videos that they've chosen him. He didn't know it yet, but they are fully aware of what he's doing and behind it. And I said that to my husband, and then it was a couple of videos later, he says, well, I don't know why I've been selected. And I'm like, oh, well, he knows it now.
So what are they saying about Mr. Beans?
And
Give us a rundown on what they think of Mr. Beans, or what do they think of the Pork and Beans show?
when I had that big experience with the white light, they wanted me to message him or contact him right after, and I went, "Are you kidding? It's like, no, it's nighttime." So the first thing I did the next morning, even though we'd never really spoken, is I messaged him and told him what had happened. And that, I will tell you this now, that is completely out of character for me. I'm a total introvert. I'm people will run into me and be like, "Oh, you still live here?" You know, I don't contact people I don't know on Facebook or Messenger or the internet. It's not it's I'm being pushed, I'm being nudged to do certain things. And even my husband's like, "I can't believe you did that. This isn't you." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
Well, in the Sasquatch world, there's of all the people who are involved with Sasquatch, the human beings, there's very, very few people who know what that white light is. When you're given it, when it's inside you, when you feel it coming at you, that is the light of God. That is the highest spiritual attainment. You know what I mean? And so, you know, and I'm one of the few people, I spend years and years and years and years and years trying to get to that light and then have it come, you know. So it's kind of a big deal to have confirmation from somebody else to saying, yes, this is true. Not only is it true, that is the highest experience that human beings can have in the human body. And so, yeah, it's in some ways I'm on their radar as, oh, here's the spiritual guy. Send people to some spiritual guy stuff. And, you know, you do meditation, and people who do the meditation I was doing, they can have experiences too. So, you know, it's all good. It's all one.
And what you said before about how if you're friends with the Sasquatch, then your friends are their friends by connection. So
Yeah.
people that are close to me have now had experiences when they're with me, like tree knocking, animals doing strange things. I thought of you the other day, Mr. Pork. My husband and I went down to the creek to watch the salmon spawning, and we were by ourselves, and all of a sudden this raven landed in a tree, and he started talking and whistling and popping noises and going on. I didn't have any idea that a raven could use so many sounds. And this went on for 20 minutes. And he flew from 3 different trees around us and yelled at us with he was like clacking, popping, whistling, wooing, all these sounds that I didn't know a raven could make for 20 minutes. And then he finally flew off. And it was mind blowing. I've never even heard a raven do that many sounds, and it went on for 20 minutes, and I've never experienced that beforehand or since, and I couldn't even find the equivalent online anywhere. So it made me think of what you were saying, Mr. Pork, about your raven experiences. And
Yeah, quite often when the ravens are around, the Sasquatch are right there, or they'll be looking through the eyes of the raven. So, yeah. What did
that's
Mr.
what I was thinking the whole time.
You see, I told you this guy's got no stamina. Look at him. He can't stay in there for the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, you want to watch? You want to watch, or you?
Well, how come we can't hear you peeing? You could hear me do everything.
Well, because I'm talking to you, because you get insecure. Don't be insecure. I will be back. Don't be insecure. We'll still be friends when I come back. I'm not abandoning you.
No, in fact, you can't get any more sharing than that, actually. It's very intimate.
You know what you should do, Coastal Chick, is what you should. Well, you'd have to get a little better internet connection, I think. But you should just start doing some live videos or record stuff and just put it out there or something with your stories and try to share that way and
Really?
and open up. Well, yeah, and then maybe you can get the confidence to do it live at one point. You know what I mean? Because you got some amazing stuff to talk about.
I don't think it's so much confidence. Yeah, I don't even think it's so much confidence. It's just this like I'm being pushed, like they're pushing me. It's not even a choice thing. They're telling, like they're saying, you're gonna do it. We'll give you confidence. You can do this. We're behind you. So
Well, it's going to happen then.
yeah.
So it's interesting. You were
And I
talking.
really wanted to go to your camp out this year.
Oh, it was amazing. It's been amazing both years. Well, I'm going to try to have it next year too. Well, I am going to have it.
I'd really like to go next year.
It's
Very
amazing.
much so.
Everybody that goes, they seem to work with them in some way.
Mhm.
They even had a guy who his sister was quite far along her path, and she had just amazing experiences. But she brought a brother along who had just started having experiences about a month before, and he had some incredible experiences there, and they're continuing. And I know exactly what you mean when you say, that people who meet you or whatever, or that you connect with or talk to, they start having their own experiences. I find that too. That's very, very true. It's like,
Yeah.
and of course, they connect us to the people they want us to connect with. So.
Is my absolutely. Absolutely. I thought that my idea of putting a tiny house somewhere and having more time, I thought that was 100% my idea. And they've since let me know that no, actually, we've been pushing the whole time. We're freeing you up. We have plans for you. And I'm just like, you can't fight it. You just got to say, okay, because it's so much bigger than me. It's so much bigger.
Yeah. Did you see, by the way, I went back to the place where I had the camp out a couple of days ago, and I got a beautiful, beautiful videos and a picture of an owl, a barred owl. He was,
Yeah.
I was walking around my area, and then I just came back and I sat on the picnic table in the enclosure there where we sit when it's raining and stuff, and I looked just across the field 20 yards away, and there's this, what is that? And it was a barred owl sitting right on this post. It was just, it felt really, yeah, it just felt really connected, and they're amazing birds. He was just a little guy, but
It's all amazing. Every time it seems that every time someone comes with me and we're out, well, I live in such a rural area. You know what I mean? Like I can go to any river, ocean around me and there won't be anybody there. There's more animals than there are people. And some people, when they come with me, we have the most wildest animal experiences. Like I'll say things like, wouldn't that be awesome if we saw a bear? And then out walks a bear. Or wouldn't that be great if a pod of whales came by? And literally a pod of whales comes by. I'm starting to get teased like maybe you should buy my lottery ticket kind of thing, where just intense, really different animal experiences happen when people are with me. I don't know why. Just is what it is.
well, I think you do. But you just have to think it through a little bit.
Well, you don't think about it in the moment. You're just blown away by the experience that you're having. Then when you start to reflect back and you get feedback from people, you realize that it must be connected.
Yeah, it's funny too because animals obviously, I think the true universal language is energy. Words can deceive and or be misunderstood and whatever, but energy, if you understand it and you can read it, it can't lie. I mean, even bad energy, you can interpret it. So, but I mean, people who have really, really good energy and whatever, or
You do like
li-
on
living that.
this property that we've spent the last few years just building tons of organic gardens, and we have animals. We raise animals. I've got about 100 animals out there right now, and they're all completely. Every one of them is there, and the Sasquatch told me that's one of the things that they like is
Yeah.
the focus here where I'm at, and between my husband and I is just trying to make the best environment for everything around us, for bees, for insects, everything around us. It's just I've had people come here and they cannot believe the birds that come to my property. Birds that aren't local to our area have showed up here and be 10 feet away from me. I've had a pigeon come down and land 5 feet away from me, and I laid down on the ground and it fell asleep. And then stayed at my house for a month, walking around my feet and stuff. Just
It fell asleep.
It fell asleep in the house for a month
Your
with
connection.
my other animals, and it would walk around my feet and I'd feed it.
Yeah,
I think everybody must be turning their Netflix on.
Yeah, you're getting really, really bad connection now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think that everybody must be awake and moving around and watching TV and stuff.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get enough of it because it's amazing. But you know, like I was saying, I guess you didn't hear me. I guess you cut out or I cut out. But you know, like energy, I've heard of people. This is weird. Like this is really strange. And it doesn't even make any sense, except it does in context, you know, now. But I heard two people tell me in the same week that they had cougars come up and sit right beside them in the wild and not bother them, just sit there.
Wow.
Because I guess because their energy was so calm and, you know, I mean, animals communicate with energy, and we do too, but we understand it not quite as much as they do. I mean, that's how an animal will either like you or not like you, right? Like they instinctively like you or they don't. And it's usually, you know, like a person who loves animals, has high energy like yourself. They connect with, and people who don't, they, you know, they might snap at them or growl or whatever. So it's just so true, right?
It is. Actually, I got a funny story for you. I came home from shopping. I'm about an hour away from the next town, like the city where there's stores, basically. I'm an hour away. And I came home and I checked my livestock, and one of my Muscovy ducks had a couple inches of something hanging out of his beak. And I thought, okay, that's not good. So I went out into the back field and I was trying to chase him so I could grab him and pull whatever he was choking on out of his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't get him because he was running for me. He ran around, and one of my other ducks, she looked at me, she ran over and she jumped on top of him and held him down so that I could pull this big long piece of plastic paper, out of his beak. And then she hopped off his back and chirped at me. And that was the experience. And I was just blown away.
Oh, wow. That's unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Lakota. It's a
Beautiful.
ceremonial rattle. My First Nations friend gave it to me. This was used in a lot of ceremonies. It was made in 1971.
Wow.
I'm going to take this out in the woods, I think, except they're pretty neat, eh?
Yeah. That's awesome. That's
I'm going to do a ceremony for exercise, Mr. Beans.
Loud.
But yeah.
My oak tree gave us a little gift.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that nice? This is
That's
from
beautiful.
what they call in Savannah a live oak.
Yeah, you should do. Remember Julius
You
Caesar?
don't think of it as oak, but you can see that little berries. That's the little berry there. That's the acorn.
I don't want to see your berries. We don't want to see your berries on this show. You see, he always takes it to the gutter. This guy, he can't. Hey, remember Julius Caesar used to wear something like that on his head? Let's see what that looks like.
Leaves or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, that looks good. No, that looks.
Yeah.
No, right there. That's you. Yep.
I have to say that I've watched a few. I've watched all of Rachel from Into the Veil videos as well. Arkansas Bigfoot. I love their stuff. And there's quite a few times that I've been watching them, and I'll have the Sasquatch really excitedly affirm something that she says. They'll tell me that, yes, that's true. That's true. Take that in. That's true. You know?
Absolutely. Yep. Is it an energy? Is it with me? It's like an intense, loving confirmation energy. Like that's true. They give me my answer with energy. When I'm listening to somebody that they really like or they want me to listen to, or talking the truth.
I'd like to make an announcement. I'd like to make an announcement that is that.
Yeah, thanks. That was great.
Everybody everybody who watches any Sasquatch videos, any Sasquatch shows, the Sasquatch are watching them watch.
Yeah.
So it is a contact modality. If you want to contact the Sasquatch, just watch Sasquatch videos, Sasquatch interviews, and stuff like that. And they're there. They're connected. They look out through your eyes. They poke you. They poke you to go watch this show or that show.
Yes, they do. And like you said, you want to meet a Sasquatch. You go out there, you open your heart, and you say, "Hi, I want to be friends."
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes. You don't have to go looking for footprints or broken trees or anything. You just say that, "Hey, I know you're there," and and here we are. That's it. You're on the radar. That's all you have to do.
Yeah. I'm mad at the people in your community because you're saying so many beautiful, important things, and all they're doing is talking to their girlfriends and on a sex chat line or something or something like totally not noble.
Well, and should we wrap it up then? Is it getting too hard to?
No, you're still okay, I suppose. Unless yeah.
Does it meet with your satisfaction?
Well, I'm a perfectionist, so.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've seen your shows. There's definitely, some professionalism peeking through the chaos.
Perfectionism?
Peeking through some professionalism peeking through the chaos there.
No, I said a perfectionist.
Oh, perfectionist.
Yeah, because I have to counterbalance. I have to counterbalance Mr. Beans,
Coffee. I need more coffee. You guys have a great show. Your forum's great. The people that you have on here, the stories are incredible. I love it.
So what? So what do you think the Sasquatch are here for at this time? Are they giving you why are they contacting people like yourself and myself and Mr. Beans and all these people who are ready to listen? Why? What's their message? What are they trying to do?
They're trying to get us to wake up. That we're being intentionally blinded, and they showed us that a lot of what's going on in the world, it almost is polluting us like a black tar of energy, and they're trying to clear it. They're trying to break people free and get us out where we're open to their message and we hear them, because people are just caught. They're caught in their electronics. They're caught in the news. They're caught in the chaos or the fake news or everything that's going on. They're trying to bring everybody back to where they're supposed to be. We're supposed to know that we have these innate abilities, that we can literally change the world around us because everything's energy. And they're trying to wake people up, but they can't shock people awake either. I feel like there's a huge collective wave happening right now that more and more people are awake and things are changing. Things are changing. I think there's a lot more people aware and connected with the Sasquatch in the last year than ever have been. So they're doing it.
I wonder if 220 is a big year too, because 2012 was a huge year. That was when they reminded me of my connection with them when they called me to go to the mountains. And a lot of people in 2012 had an awakening. But with you, it's just been this year, right? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe it's, yeah. So you're noticing a lot of people this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm also, it's like Mike or Mr. Bean said, they're poking me, they're nudging me, and I'm seeing things and being awakened to things that have been there, but I wasn't aware of it. Like,
yeah.
With a lot of the stuff that your guests talk about and Ken and Ray King, they have a lot of stuff going on too. I've just been watching their videos and I get the constant the affirmation that they're really tuned in to what's happening. And you can feel that there's becoming a following. There's a following of people that are wanting to be part of that connection, and they're experiencing different things in their lives and they're waking up,
Mr. Beans is very organic.
Oh, I can't see him. I can just see you on my screen.
Oh, you know what you said? Yeah, perfectly said. You said it really well.
Another announcement. I have another announcement. Is it okay? You want to go ahead, keep talking, but I have an announcement.
Yeah.
I have nothing. You go for it.
Well, I've watched thousands and thousands of videos, and in this last year, actually 2020, I've almost never heard a single show where somebody didn't talk about something paranormal. They either saw a Sasquatch go invisible, they saw a UFO, they saw a globe of light, or they had the hair stand up on their heads. Now they don't know that that's paranormal. Oh, the hair stood up on my arm, the back of my neck. That's a paranormal experience, you know, or they had this fear, or they had a knowing. Almost every single show, people are talking more and more about the paranormal aspect of Sasquatch, and so it's the people who think it's flesh and blood only. Those people are actually dying out, and it's getting to be boring. It's you know, and the Anthropopithecus, what do they call it? Gigantopithecus? Organic Pacific.
Gigantopithecus?
Gigantic organic.
Gigantopithecus.
That's it.
The big Magilla gorilla guy.
That guy never happened, you know. And so pretty much you have to, if you're not gonna go to accept that the woo is happening, then you know you're kind of like in the dark ages, you know.
Yeah,
because the woo is happening. There's never an interaction where the woo doesn't happen.
Coastal chick wouldn't know that, but you remember Magilla gorilla, right? Magilla gorilla for sale. Magilla gorilla for sale. Remember that cartoon?
No.
Yeah.
No, I knew you wouldn't. You're far too young for that. Anyway, Beans, I'm thinking you should become a botanist. You've got quite the green thumb going on.
I do feel there's a huge connection between the paranormal and UFO activity in Sasquatch, though, because I've experienced both now, and I feel that it's definitely connected.
You know, I've had an experience with my First Nations friend.
Wait, let her finish. Talk about your UFO experience. That's important because there's a big connection.
I know that. I was going to confirm that, but okay, go ahead with yours, and then okay, go.
Oh, well, I'll show you yours and show me mine. Or you show me yours. There you go.
No.
I had a UFO experience when I was younger. I was about 12, 13, 14 in there. Like I said, I live very rurally, and there's no street light. Okay, it's dark. You see the stars. And a cousin and I decided to go for a nighttime walk, and we walked down the road, probably clear. We're standing on this bridge where these two rivers connect in the sky. You can see all the sky, the stars. And we're talking, and I looked up and I saw what looked like a small cluster of stars, but they were moving in a way that they shouldn't have been moving. There was about three or four of them. And they were moving in a way that all of a sudden I got the impression that there was a battle of some sort going on. And then one exploded. And then they moved around a bunch more. And then another one exploded. And I kind of freaked out. I went, okay, that shouldn't be happening. I've got to go tell my mom and dad. And we all of a sudden we turned around and we started running as fast as we could back to my house. And we're about a kilometer away. I mean, I'm running as fast as I can. And we can see this. It's like the size of a star. And it's following parallel to us as we're running. And we're running and we're almost out of breath. And we get to the top of the hill at the road down to my parents' house. And we stop and we're trying to breathe. And all of a sudden it went from went from the size of a star to right above our head.
Wow.
There was a craft literally right above our head. It was instantaneous. It was right above us. And I could see details on the bottom. And we were just frozen, staring up at it. And then all of a sudden I heard my brother yell from the end down the road. He came out of the driveway and saw us and heard us and started screaming for my dad. My dad came running out of the house onto the road. And as soon as my dad saw the craft, it took off fast. Nothing could ever move that fast. And it went over the house. And my mom said that the TV, all the electronics in the house freaked out at that time when it went over the house.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's all connected. Oh, wait a minute. You're frozen, so you're probably still talking.
Yeah. No, it does. I think you're right. It's all connected.
Sorry, I didn't
Yeah.
mean to interrupt. Well, I mean, I always mean to interrupt people, but that's what I do. But I can. But when you freeze up, I couldn't hear you talking enough. But no, it's all. It really does speak to how it's all connected because I've had at the same time, and I'm not going to get into the story, but just talks about the connection of it. We've had experiences where there's been a spirit bird, a UFO, and Sasquatch activity going on all at the same time. So it's just it's not that unusual when you understand the connection of everything.
Yeah, it's just a little stuck.
Yeah, it's true.
That's stuck. You're stuck. Start all over again.
Who, me?
No, Coastal Chick was talking, but she was, glitched out.
Yeah, you guys have a couple times too, kind of frozen a bit. So darn internet. Why did everybody have to watch Netflix Saturday morning?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I had some pretty good clarity last night, but maybe when we wrap this part up, maybe you and I can talk about that, Beans, or whatever, about judgment. I think judgment is the biggest plague that humanity has. It's worse than any war, any disease, anything. And anyway, I had a lot of clarity.
I wanted to finish up with the UFO folks.
Absolutely, let's do it.
Well, stop talking so I can talk. So the point is that Coastal Chick was saying she had this big experience in her life where she felt like she could be seen 3D and her heart and all this kind of stuff and connection from afar away, and then they always can see you and see into you. Well, in I've done a lot of research and I'm part of a big group of people who've done scientific research on the ET, but the ET people can do that too. That's how they heal you. They can look inside your body and they give healings to people, cure cancer and stuff, and they can see you wherever you are on the earth. A lot of people get contacted, some people by Sasquatch and some people by the ET people. And then the people freak out. Oh, I'm going to move. I got to move away from this place. So they move from one town to another town, another state.
Doesn't matter.
That doesn't do anything. The ET people can find you. The Sasquatch people can find you. It doesn't do, you can run all you want, but you can't hide. So that's like a real connection there. That you brought up.
You know how slick you are? You just said you wanted to hear Coastal Chick talk, and then you just did a complete spiel.
Well, you're supposed to be quiet so she can answer.
Oh.
That's how it works.
Okay.
Yeah, since that experience, though, I've noticed now since that experience afterwards, as I got older, when I would walk under street lamps and stuff, they'd all go off. Every time I walk under street lights, I can't wear watches. I have electronics completely quit around me sometimes. I wasn't sure if this would work. I've gone into stores, and if I'm stressed out, all the electronics around me won't work. I've had to leave a building and come back in before they could finish what they were doing with things.
I've heard that a lot.
I've been stressed out. Yeah, and I don't know if that's connected with the UFO or ETs, but I don't have any other friends where that happens to them, and so they like to tease me.
Just probably your vibration is so high or your energy is so high that it's affecting things around you, I would think.
Strange.
Yeah, it happens a lot with ET contactees. When you listen to a lot of ET contactees, either before, during, or after they've had their contact. There's the story of walking under the light and the light dims and or goes out. That's very common. Or radios come on and off and all that kind of stuff. That's EMF stuff.
Yeah.
So, you're just a very high person is what it is. You have a high energy core. Except for now. You made your computer stop.
Aw. I'm sorry, you guys.
Well, that's our high energy. That just proved your point.
My brother and I we had a shared experience where I woke up in the middle of the night and I saw in front of me, I saw a car accident play out, and I heard the noise, and the car was on fire, and there was a couple girls screaming and yelling for help, and I saw it all in front of me, but I couldn't do anything. It was like right in front of me, and it shocked me and upset me, and then it stopped, and I ran to my brother's bedroom, and he was sitting bolt upright in his bed, and he looked at me and his eyes were wide, and he said, "Did you see that?" And we both experienced it in the middle of the night.
Oh,
We both
wow.
saw this happen in front of us. So
Oh, that's neat because that's cool because my First Nations friend and I have had experiences that like supernatural experience, auditory like weird stuff happen simultaneously. So that's a great point.
yeah. Are we fading out again?
No, you're
Is
good.
your is your is your brother in tune too?
He is, but after he saw that UFO above me and my cousin, he had a really hard time sleeping at night after that. He would fall asleep and then he'd wake up and he couldn't move. He'd feel paralyzed and he could hear voices and see lights. So he's now years later, he's an adult that falls asleep with the TV on because he tried to stay awake instead of falling asleep after that because he was terrified. It didn't
Oh,
impact me
wow.
the same way. Yeah, but that's what happened to him. So he's really tried to shut all that off.
That's unfortunate for him, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
Or
I
maybe
don't
that's
think that
just
was
where
a
he
good
is.
result for him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not everybody's
Yeah,
ready
he's
for it. Some people react with fear, and some people react with wonder and wanna know more. I guess it just depends on where you are. There's no right or wrong. It's
yeah.
just it's just where you are.
No, and I feel that every time we all get together and we share these experiences, there's just a far greater awareness. There's more people waking up and being willing to open up and share their experiences, no matter how strange they are. People are coming forward with stuff, and we're all connecting. Like, it's the all one. There's no time, there's space. So through it all, we're all connecting on a level of some sort.
Right. Right. And yeah. But that's what the ones whoever they are that don't want us to they don't want us to wake up. That's for sure. That's the best thing. If you're unhappy with the
No.
world today, the best thing that you can do is raise your vibration and wake up because that's the one thing that they're afraid of. Whoever they are.
Hmm.
I'm not going to get into that, but I think But
Well, I think this conversation is really important
Yeah.
because there's literally millions of people who've had contact with ET in dreams and in visions and taken on craft, millions. And the ET people who have had contact and they're interested in UFOs, they need to know that the Sasquatch are on the same team, doing the same thing, awakening the same people, giving people the same kind of experiences, the same kind of healings. They need to know that because to have a million people over here just looking up at the sky and then another million people that we're getting close to a million people who like know about Sasquatch or going in the woods or something. So you need to have those together to understand that they're all one, they're the same, and it's about for the benefit of humanity. So that's why this conversation I think is really important.
It's true, but not all the Sasquatch are the same either. I mean, they've shown me that there are other Sasquatch that aren't as evolved as the ones that were sharing with me. There's some out there that are, I don't know, maybe a lower energy. They're not wanting to learn or evolve. They've just shown me that there's some that are a lot more animal than the ones that are communicating with us and with people. There's different kinds that aren't as evolved.
is it different kinds or different mindsets that they don't choose to be?
They don't choose to be involved. They're not as I know that Rachel's touched on it when she was communicating with her Sasquatch family. They're not as evolved. They're not as evolved. They're not mentally there. They're not in their heart. They're choosing to be separate.
Okay, but let's clarify that. So it's just like a lot of people we know are like that, as opposed to other people. So is that what's going on, or they're literally not as evolved, generally? They just
They're hillbillies.
Just living.
They're hillbilly Sasquatch.
Yeah.
hillbillies.
Yeah. They're hillbilly Sasquatch. They just want to be left alone, and they will defend themselves, and they can be aggressive, and they don't want anything to do with people. Yeah.
Now, if I could play the banjo, that would have been perfect.
Hey, you saw where I live? I am hillbilly.
Oh, Maureen Johnson says, yes, Michael, I'm busy connecting the dots being dropped in front of me. I can take comfort in knowing why I'm here with all of you, just riding the wave. That's nice. See, that's a nice comment.
You see, she always talks about you.
No, she says something about you too. She says, this is wonderful to watch and see how you handle what is happening with grace and dignity. Ready to move forward, very brave. I've been led to give thought to my reactions and interactions to what's happening.
No, the reason I say that is she was up.
She said something about you too. She says, okay, Brian, you're being rude. So, she said something about you.
Well, she was at my camp out, and all she was talking about was you.
Oh.
Because I'm so
he's
beautiful.
the handsomest man in the world.
I am so beautiful to me.
I can see. You're everything I ever hoped for. Go ahead.
Everything I need.
You're everything we need. You are so beautiful. To me. Remember that one note he hits? He cut it. Whatever, he does something like that. Man, you are the most beautiful human being on the face of the earth. You're gorgeous. Are
you talking to Mr. Bean?
I'm almost.
Well, yeah, because my girlfriend's watching. I can't. Of course, it's Bean.
I have to hide. I have to hide my beauty. It's too much for everybody.
Tone down that blinding light coming through there. Did you guys open up your mailbag today?
We haven't done one in a while.
Well, we should do the wisdom. The wisdom was the SASQUATCH.
Oh, you want to do that? Yeah, let's get back into some of the old when we. Okay, let's do a SASQUATCH.
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 Yeah,
SASQUATCH.
From 1 to 90. What is it? Or 1 to 100? What is it?
No. We'll let our guest pick out a number. Pick out a number from 40 to 100, because I think the first part is just like paragraphs and stuff.
Right. 40 to 100.
40 to 100.
Pick a number, Coastal Chick.
5. I picked 75.
75.
75.
76 trombones in the big parade, 101 clarinets right behind. 75. Oh, 76 was good too. Okay. Flowers bloom in spring and provide us with their divine fragrances. The colors too are a boon and a healing power. Will your people, the humans, one day be more like flowers, refreshing the world with sacred medicine and brightening it with a rainbow of color? When will you decide which is your truth? A big, dark doom or a harvest of love, goodwill, and unity? You can choose and have that ability. Let's see all life. Hold on a minute. You can choose. You have that ability. Let's see all life choose to love. And that's from Tatel, Tata of the E, Tatan, Tatanta. Wow, that's heavy. Some heavy stuff there, man.
That's like what they've told me. That's beautiful.
That's some pretty heavy stuff. Yeah, that's a book that my friend Graham McSkimming wrote. Guess we should mention the author's name, and was kind enough to send me. So, yeah.
I need to get one of those.
Yes, everybody should. It's kind of like a little.
How many books do you think have been written by Sasquatch? Like channeled or automatic writing by? So how many think? How many think that books you think are out there now?
Well, the one I'm writing, which I'll probably never put out, has definitely been channeled by Sasquatch. They're guiding my
Oh,
hand.
well, that's a good reason to sit on it.
It's too far down my Facebook page now. It's about a year down. I'd have to take me months to come across it again.
You mean you wrote the book on Facebook?
I
Yeah,
wrote
you
the
just
book.
refresh it.
I wrote the book at work. I wrote my entire book at work. It's probably 300 or 400 pages.
Wow.
Did you save it in a file somewhere?
I don't know, man. You know me. It's on It's all on Facebook.
Well, I guess the Sasquatch aren't so important. It's like you want the living experience.
No, I guess I'm gonna have to. I guess I'm gonna have to finish it. But the thing is, it's hard work. I don't like doing work. I like being creative. But when the work starts, then I want other people to do it for me,
Oh,
like
okay.
like organizing it and stuff.
You're
Like
Well,
some
manipulative.
like you, Mr. Beans. Like you, Mr. Beans. You know. Anyway, was that question for Coastal Check as far as how
it's a
many
question
people
for
write?
all, it's a question for all of us because I think it needs to be a public announcement that hey people, there's books being written by the Sasquatch. Sasquatch talk to humans, humans write it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a thing, and I think what it was the Sasquatch message to humanity or something or Sasquatch speaks, one of them, well, there's like about 5 or 6 different Sasquatch or one Sasquatch chemo or Camus, and then there's about eight different people all writing down the same kind of stuff, and they've compiled it into books, and it's like amazing. So
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Sasquatch
They're behind a
gospel,
lot
who
more.
knew?
They're
all
behind a
all,
lot
all
of stuff than
yeah.
I ever thought.
The people who are connected to them are all basically writing the same stuff, just with a different maybe twist on it. It's all the same message. So, and yeah, I think anybody who has got a connection with Sasquatch and they're writing or or doing a pork and beans show or anything are being guided and supported by the Sasquatch. Absolutely. There's
Movies,
no
they make
question.
movies, they make movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's literally no question about it.
Yeah, I know that I will tell my husband something when I get like a mental image or a sharing or a feeling, and I'll share it with him. And then something will come up later when somebody will say the same thing, and we're watching a video or something, and it's identical to what was shared with me, and it blows him away. He's just like, "That's what you just said." He's yeah.
Yeah. Because there's no coincidence. And when we're waking up, like that's one of the things that I
No.
started realizing right away, like, wow, there's just no such thing as coincidence. And it just really comes to the forefront and you really just see it.
Yeah, it was really wild getting the realization that decisions that I thought were my own weren't necessarily my own, when they're just letting me know that they have a plan for me that they've had since there's no such thing as time. They have a plan for me. They already know what I'm going to go do in this lifetime that I have that I don't know. They already know, you know.
Absolutely.
They're they're nudging me and pushing me in certain directions they want me to go. So I've just basically had to say, okay, well, I'm open and let's see where this takes us.
Yeah. Now, when you were before you had your introduction to Sasquatch, did you always feel like throughout your life that you were a little different or kind of thing? Because I think a lot of us come into this
Oh yeah.
world with a purpose, and we don't really connect with the regular things that people worry about and think about or whatever. Did you feel like that was how I was? Did you feel kind of like that?
Very much, very much so. Even as a child, I would wake up in the morning and I would say to my parents, "Oh, we're going to go do this today," and they would say, "No, we're not going to do that." And then that would happen later, and they would just kind of look at me like, "Oh." So I always kind of had that with a precognition or something. A lot of times, I would know what we were going to do in advance of what was going to happen.
But my point was more towards like you didn't connect with what people valued, like say money or
No,
fame or wealth or politics or the things that people cared about. It was just like it didn't mean anything to me.
No,
And I
yeah,
and I was thinking, is there something wrong with me? Like I thought, what's wrong with me? Why don't I think like these people? Like I remember thinking that, and I would assume that that was probably you as well.
yeah, and it still is. That
Yeah,
I've always, and the thing that was weird with me is as well is that I would connect with people, and it didn't matter what their status was, their how much money they had, what they did in life. None of that mattered. It was their energy, how they were as a person. And I like you, I don't care about money or any of those things. And another thing I noticed is that there's a lot of rampant jealousy that a lot of times I never felt part of, where people like they'll attach their ego to their clothing, their appearance, the car they
right,
drive. I never felt that attachment to any of it, and I didn't understand it.
right.
It didn't make sense to me, to
I
everybody
know.
else.
I knew a person one time who the value of their friendship to them was literally based on how much money or how successful somebody was. And it was just like, what? And it's just unfathomable to me. Like, oh my God, that's so shallow. Yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah,
It almost
and I
feels it almost feels like you want to champion the little guy just to make him feel like you're worthy. You're just as good. You don't have to feel small. You want to try to raise them up or something kind of thing, or you immediately go to the underdog because
oh yeah, yeah.
yeah,
In the very small school here, there was a boy, and I'm not sure. I was 5, and the other kids were calling him retarded, and they were surrounded him, and I was in kindergarten, and all these grade 7, 8 older kids were yelling at this teenage boy and calling him retarded and throwing things at him. And 5-year-old me left the playground and went over there like a little hurricane and lost my mind at them. I called them jerks and monsters, and I chased a group of like grade 7, grade 8 kids throwing rocks at them away from this away from this challenge boy that they were picking on. And there's always that sense of justice, that protect the underdog, take care of the weak. As a kid, my mom would take me shopping, and I'd wander off, and she would always find me with a senior citizen. They'd always find me with a group of older people, and they'd be sitting there telling me their story. We'd be talking, and she knew if she ever lost me, that all she had to look at were seniors. She would find me. Yeah.
see,
Yeah,
so that just speaks
not
to the
so
fact
much.
that that
Yeah,
just speaks to that you were brought into this world, with a knowing and just being, and when you were ready to be woken up or whatever, or the next step, that's what happened. But yeah, that rings so true. Rings so true. I knew that would be like that
yeah,
with you. I mean, it's just pretty common, really. With the people that they connect with.
yeah.
Yeah,
And you guys have just connected with so many amazing people through your show. I think it's fantastic,
yeah.
and I can't see what Mr. Keith is doing.
It's funny, because when we started this show, well, I don't even really know. It doesn't even. It's so impromptu and so spontaneous or whatever that I still have a hard time even believing it's a show. And then I start thinking, well, look at all the people that we've had on here, all these amazing people. So
Yeah,
it's actually pretty fun, and it's been pretty good, really,
I love
Amazing
it.
people. We've had amazing people.
in spite of you.
Yeah. Well, somebody's got to draw, man.
Wow. Yeah, I tried to go outside and find some flowers to put in my hair, but I couldn't. I would have to kill one of my landlord's plants, pull it right out of the pot, so I didn't do that.
I don't go to SASQUATCH, they come to me, and I don't go into the woods come to me.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Because that part blew my mind. I thought, why am I getting these experiences when there's people out there, and they're out there every day, and they're actively seeking these connections out, these experiences out, and they came to me. All I did was put an introduction out there and said, hey, I respect you, and I know you're there, and if you ever want to speak to me, here I am. And then it happened.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. But to the point that they connect with you, definitely. In my case, I was just walking my dogs by the dikes, and I got a mental. Well, I had mind speak, I guess. Go to the mountains, or it was a knowing that I had to go to the mountains, and then
Yeah.
from that point, everything I started connecting with people. Everything. I mean, it was just like it just took off like crazy. Like all just an avalanche of experiences and whatever. And it was so they do connect with you, definitely, and they do it in the time when you're ready for it.
And you know what? Amazing. They do. And what amazes me is that my husband's fully on board. He's like, okay, let's do this. Let's sell our house. Let's do a tiny home. Let's find out what they have in store for us. And that's not his personality. He was never into paranormal. He was raised completely different from me. He was raised in Toronto, and then he was in the military, completely different mindset. I grew up North Vancouver Island. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is he a Leaf fan?
I don't think so. He's not a
Uh,
sports guy.
okay. Oh well.
Yeah.
I still like him. Because I'm from Ontario and that area too. I'm a big time Maple Leafs fan. Hey, Beans.
I've have been talking with him about Sasquatch. Yeah. And I've had them chatting to me in one mental ear. And I've said to him, like, how would you react with Sasquatch? Would you be scared? He's like, well, I don't know. I think I'd be fine. And then the female Sasquatch that was talking to me said that the young ones want to be the one to expose themselves to him, for him to have that wake up moment, and they're jockeying each other to make him like kind of like a kid's version of a boo to him. And she's not letting them, but she told him through me that she would trust him with her offspring, but that he would be, in her words, a very reluctant babysitter.
Yeah. Oh, Robin McCrae. Remember Beans? She had the Sasquatch female come to her and ask if said she was tired and exhausted, and she actually, I guess, babysat the kids for a while.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Kind of neat, eh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Beans, what are you doing?
I'm trying to adjust your volume because you're like 10 times too loud. So I'm over here turning the volume up and down every time you talk to try to balance it out for Facebook. That's what.
Wait a minute. I thought you said my volume was good today. It's not now? It's gone back?
I'm telling you, the more you talk, the volume goes up. I don't know if you're getting closer to I don't know if you're getting closer and talking like that. But,
No, man. I'm just talking.
I know. I'm
What-
trying to get.
I'm not blaming you. That's the mechanical problem. But the thing is, it's like a blow.
How could it be? You mean as I continue to talk, the volume goes up as I'm talking?
I'm saying something's going on because it's an automatic thing going on Zoom and whatever it is, it's automatic. But your voice just goes up and up.
Well, maybe the Sasquatch
You
won't.
have people complaining about it on the they can't even listen to it.
Well, hey man, I'm a compassionate.
That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to adjust your volume so that people don't get hurt.
Oh, or maybe I have something important to say the Sasquatch want heard, so they turn me up when I'm talking.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know. I apologize. I can't figure it out. I've gone into my settings. I've been doing. I've actually. It's not like me to actually.
Right now, see what your settings say right now, and on the Zoom settings, because they're the easiest ones. See if it works.
On the Zoom settings.
Okay, well, I need to step away.
On Zoom, yeah, you're
it's
on Zoom right now,
you can
right?
gossip
So
about me.
check the microphone settings on Zoom.
Okay, so go away so we can talk about you.
Yeah, I'll be right back. You guys can gossip.
So what do you think of this lady there, Beans?
I think she's great. She's had more experiences than I've had. She's only been doing it for like 2 years or something. How many years did she say she did it?
1 year.
1 year. And they give her the full scope of things.
No, absolutely top-notch stuff. No doubt about it. So wait a minute. So
You're peeking out, man. You're peeking. You know what peeking means?
Yeah, I
It
do.
means
Audio settings. Hang on, Beans.
you go to where it says the microphone. Then you can like look at the little things that says at the bottom, audio settings. Yeah. Yeah. Testing 1, 2. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
You don't have a slider? Take that slider and put it about in the middle or halfway down or something.
Okay, I'm going to talk as I'm moving the slider, okay? How does that sound? Is that any better?
That's better. Much better.
Is it?
Yeah. Keep talking. Go say test, test, test. So
Test.
Much better. Whatever you did was better.
Oh, maybe I finally figured out how to do it. Okay, let me just go up a bit because now,
I think it's something automatic.
except
Yeah.
I can't hear myself.
I don't care. You're not important.
Okay, can you hear? Is that good right now?
That's good. Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay.
Let's ask Coastal Chick. Coastal Chick, can you hear Brian? Brian, say something. You know.
Hi, this is Pork Cunningham, and this is the Pork and Bean Show, and I'm here with the world's most handsome man, Frank Oliver Baines. How's that sound?
It went right up again. So now you're back to square one.
What?
Yeah.
It was clear, but it was really loud. Yeah.
I mean,
clear.
I don't know.
You have a beautiful voice, but it's booming and loud. I think maybe you're affecting the equipment.
Maybe it's my energy.
Maybe you're just sitting too close to the mic.
It's all that
you roll
energy.
back a little bit like this.
Okay, let's try that. Hi, my name is Pork Cunningham, and I'm here with my distinguished, honorable co-host, the world's most handsomest man, Frank Oliver Baines.
Turn off your mic. Take off your headphones and turn them off for 1 second and try it again, because it's still too loud.
I was trying to get him to come say hi, but he's being too shy.
What are you talking about, Beans? Take my headphones off.
And turn them off. See if that's the connection. That's what I'm saying. See if. Oh, you haven't said anything yet.
How's that?
You haven't done anything.
Hey, my phone's ringing. That's professional. I keep my phone on during the show.
Why are you so loud and everybody else is normal?
Babe, I called you babe.
I
I called you babe. What the heck was that? Was a mistake.
I'm so beautiful.
Well, maybe it's. I mean, if I was, you are so beautiful that if I was of that.
I'm so beautiful to me.
If I was of that persuasion,
Oh, now my cat's
if I was of that persuasion, I'd be all over you.
Just move back a little bit and talk. You didn't even try that. And then, go sit on the bed. There you go.
Hold on. Hey, I'll do the Burt Reynolds pose. Hey, I'm Pork Cunningham, and I'm here with my distinguished, honorable co-host, Frank Oliver Baines, the world's handsomest man.
It's your headphones, man. Your headphones are what's doing it. It's your headphones that are what's doing it. It's not the computer. It's your headphones.
How's that look?
It's a mic or something.
How's this?
It's a better
That's
pose,
perfect.
but
You
it's
need to
still
do
too
every
loud.
show like that. That's perfect.
Well, you know what?
I think we should just.
Maybe I should do it with me. I could do it without the headphones, but my landlord can.
Earbuds. Instead of these headphones are like, what do they call them? They're what do they call them? They're Bluetooth, man. They're you're Bluetoothing the microphone right out.
They're blue in your ears right off.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm sorry. I'll figure it out.
Well, I'm just saying, it's something very simple to try, you know.
But wait a minute. Remember when we were fiddling around earlier,
Yeah.
and you said that everything was cool, and now all of a sudden it's not.
Yeah, and I also said the more you talk, the louder the volume goes. So every time during the show, it starts off nice, and then the volume goes up so bad, everybody goes like this. You can't hear.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll try to not talk, and I'll just do like one word. And
why don't you just try talking soft?
Hello.
Yeah, see?
Hi, this is Port Cunningham.
Perfect.
And I'm here with my distinguished.
Get back on the bed and talk like that. Then all of a sudden, you guys instantly go to his adult-rated show.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, let me try that. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Hi, my name's Port Cunningham, and I'm here with my distinguished, honorable co-host Frank Oliver Beans, and this is the Pork and Bean Show, everybody. Hi, how are you?
That's fantastic. Yeah, best show ever.
Okay, is my voice lower?
No.
How about now?
No, it's still too loud. Try turning the camera off.
Anyway, I'm hoping that the show today is just magnificent and marvelous and full of a bountiful of good knowledge and goodwill. And we appreciate you all being here. Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, that's awesome.
I wonder why we don't have any more guests showing up. This would be a good time for a roundtable.
Oh, wait a minute. Deborah came on.
And Deborah's been on. I invited her, and she's been on for like that was a half hour ago, man. Let her in. Say hello to Deborah. What's the matter with you?
Nobody wants to hang out with this weird hippie chick.
Someone's knocking at my door.
Your voice has affected your
Somebody's ringing a bell. Do me a favor, open the door and let them in.
Let 'em in.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Remember that song?
Let them in.
Someone's knocking at my door. Somebody's ringing a bell. Here they come.
Good, Deborah.
Hey. Nobody likes me, Deborah. My voice is too powerful for them.
Gang up on Brian and tell him he's too loud.
I've got the
a little loud.
I can't. Look.
That's polite for saying my eardrums are bleeding when they say.
Listen.
Polite that, you know.
Listen, I'm a guy who never does any homework. Never did homework in my life. I actually put a lot of time into trying to adjust my sound because I care. I care about the Pork and Bean Show, but I can't seem to resolve it, man.
You sound better now.
Hi, Deborah.
Hi.
Better than what?
Your microphones. Get some of those little earbuddy things, earbuds.
Hang on a minute.
You have the headset on.
I've got some other. Oh yeah, I'm not going to do that now.
He's got Bluetooth. He turns up his Bluetooth headset on, and it turns up his whole entire rig that's turned up because of the Bluetooth.
How come you haven't had a peanut butter sandwich yet?
Because I've been trying to. Every time you talk, I have to turn it down, then I have to turn it back up. Then if I go away, then everybody's ears are going to bleed.
Oh, and now you're going to starve. That's not even fair. You're sacrificing yourself for the good of everybody listening.
That's the kind of guy he is. He's a wonderful humanitarian.
That's why that lady in your mailbag's in love with him.
Well, she said that you fascinate her. You're fascinating, and she insisted that you come to the gathering next year, or she's not coming.
Like a nut and bolt of fastening. You put a fastening together or something.
No, Maureen Johnson is intrigued with your mind, I think, and she didn't like.
She told you that you're making your ears bleed.
Yeah, she's fascinated with you, and I make her ears bleed. Even when I was talking to her live, in person.
So
But
Debbie,
anyway, she.
pick that guy out, man. You know, if somebody's acting weird in our group, then the spiritual side, if he's acting weird, it's not, we got 300, 400 people, just kick him out. It doesn't matter. He knows he's weird.
I checked and he's not there. I thought maybe you
I thought I kicked him out because I saw that thread and I thought, where's this guy coming out of the blue saying stupid stuff? You know?
Well, I blocked him from my Facebook page 2 months ago.
Okay, I can't comment on that because I just had a big, I don't know if download or just what clarity of no judgment. So I've got to stick with that.
Judgment. Let's talk about
Has
judgment.
issues.
What's that?
Sasquatch don't
Yes.
judge, or do they? Do the
Yeah, they
Sasquatch
can't
judge?
through to us. We're judging.
I want to do a whole show, actually, Beans. We're going to do a show some other time, but I want to talk about that, about judgment and stuff. But I mean, that to me, like, just is the biggest plague that humanity has, judgment.
Yeah, the Sasquatch can't get
Judgment.
through to us when we're judging at all.
And just briefly, I mean, I want to go into it in detail, but not right now. But I mean, and you notice that love, there's no judgment in love.
No.
So what does that tell you, right? You know, just
Judgment as in a court of law where the judge slams his little gavel down and says, I find you guilty. And guilt demands a sacrifice. This is what the problem with judgment is. If you feel the judgment, then you feel guilty, then you have to give up something. You can't say this, you can't do that, you can't go somewhere, you can't think that way. You see what I'm saying? That's what guilt and shame does to you. So judgment produces guilt, and guilt demands a sacrifice. And we sacrifice most of our spiritual life, most of our natural life to the altar of guilt and judgment.
right.
That's
Well, I
why
mean,
it's so hideous.
well, now that you've gotten into it, I guess I could. I mean, we're creatures of judgment.
You want to say something? Let her talk.
I just Brian was asking about how a lot of us seem to be slightly different from our peers, or we don't really feel connected. My question is,
I'm a little.
how many of you guys do you guys have a filter? Because I don't have that social nicety of small talk. I say what I'm thinking, or if I pick something up, I just blurt it out. I don't have that filter. I can't get it, obviously, because I didn't come with it. Is that generic to all of us that are here?
Actually, my girlfriend Susan said that I don't have social filters in some cases, so I think maybe you're hitting a point there.
Yeah.
And to me, it's just being open and
a volume switch.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. If I have something to say, I say it.
Yeah, right. You can't pretend there's something else going on. This is just what you're thinking and saying, and it's how you're feeling and believing, and it's right there. And I can't dress it up in anything else.
Yeah.
So
we speak our truth.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, the thing about judgment, getting back to that, is we're programmed. Everything is judgment. I mean, just think about it. I mean,
I have something important to say. It's now
no.
2:22 and 22 seconds. 2:22. Sorry, that was a public service announcement. 2:22 and 22 seconds.
I had 11:11 just before I got on here.
I've had a lot of those lately.
I screenshotted on the group.
Yeah, several times a day I'll get that. It'll be 3:33, 2:22. I'll be like, why is it every time I actually look at a clock, that's what's happening?
Yeah, I woke up last night 3 times at really perfect numbers. I normally take a picture of it, but I was too tired, so I remembered it when I got up and I wrote it down. I think it was like 11:11, and then it was 2:22, and then it was 7:11.
Wow.
So
there's got to be a reason for
Oh,
that.
I want the nacho cheese at 7-Eleven.
Well, I always go to it's called the angel numbers. So I always, and if you type in angel numbers index, you'll get this exact website that I go to, and it has a whole index of every number you could think of and
Wow.
definitions for all of them. It's pretty
That's
cool.
fantastic. That is fantastic. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, just angel numbers index.
Yeah.
Anyway, Beans stopped me because he knows how important this topic is and he wants to get into it like exclusively. So thank you, Mr. Beans.
What were you talking about?
Judgment.
The judgment thing. I'm not going to get into it because you graciously stopped me in my tracks because you know how important it is to get it all in one big cohesive package. So we'll do that later.
I think we should have a show of all Brian, so you can do the whole show yourself. But we have guests today, so it's nice to let them talk sometimes.
Animals never judge.
See?
They either bite you or they run away. They don't.
You're judging. You're judging right now.
That's a
They
statement.
never have an underlying motive. Animals are upfront. They're either hungry or they're happy or they're sad or they want to eat you. I mean, there's never an agenda with them.
And sorry, but I was of the understanding we're having a round table going on right now, but I guess we weren't.
Oh, let's do it.
I guess we weren't having a round table.
Yeah,
How's
no.
my voice sound now?
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Perfect? I'm going to whisper from now on.
Sexy. I'm getting aroused.
So anyway, Deborah, what's been going on with you lately?
What have I been doing? There's so many things I do. I'm like busy all day long. I went out of town the other day to help my daughter get some vinyl. I'm working on a lot of paperwork here in the house because I'm trying to get a book organized, which I should have wrote a long time ago. I went to Hobby Lobby and bought some really cool forest trees. Let me grab one and show you.
See, this is trees. I was ahead of the game. We have trees.
Wait a minute. Is she saying she's getting her book?
Are they cute?
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
And they break easy too. So and then Hobby Lobby had this cute little Sasquatch.
Oh, nice.
Can you see him?
I
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So I put him in between the trees, but he's pretty small. I don't know. I do all kinds of stuff. I'm a very busy person.
Well, so you're organizing your book, did you say?
Well,
Yeah, I had an organization.
I have a book that I wanted to write in 2009 when I got laid off in the recession. And it was going to be about adoption, how I found my birth mother in 5 days. And I never knew her. But then my spirituality kicked in after my son died. So I did some research on that. And then I thought, I started getting visions and stuff. So I don't know. I think the whole book's going to just be about my experiences.
Well, could you maybe organize my book before you do yours?
Are you
'Cause
ready?
mine's already written, but I just don't want to organize it. Because that's
Are you
work.
serious?
Yes, I've got about 300 pages done, but you know,
Wow.
when you have to put it all in paragraphs with punctuation and
I can edit it for you. I did that when I was laid off. I had a spiritual reader come into my house for a couple hours and give me a reading. And when he was done, he asked me if I wanted to edit his book he was putting together. And I went, I've never done that before.
well,
But I did.
first off, I have to find it because it's about a year down my Facebook page. So
Oh,
it's gonna be a lot of scrolling.
You got a message from Maureen Johnson. She says, beefcake, pork cake. Beefcake, pork cake. She was talking about you, Mr. Beefcake, pork cake.
It was the posing on the bed and whispering. That's it. You're taking your
That
show
was
to a
it,
whole new
man.
level.
She's driving the girls wild.
That was it.
Then she left for a while and she came back and says, I'm back. I did the dishes, made a shopping list with my mister, and you were all still here, Deborah, too.
You know those videos, Girls Gone Wild? Well, that's my version, Pork Gone Wild. Anyway,
I love it.
did we interrupt you, Deborah? What were you?
No,
Oh.
I'm just a busy person. I'm doing stuff all the time.
Yeah, I'm just kind of I'm organizing. I'm just kind of kidding about. Well, I'm not kidding about
We
me
want to talk
organizing
about
it.
judging by judging people. We want to talk about judging and judging and then judge people. That's what we want to do.
Well, you want to get into that now?
You want to? I can feel your heart bleeding, and like
No, I want to. No, I want to. I just want to go with what's going on. I actually want to do a whole show about that with you. I've got a
okay.
new idea. It's going to be called Conversations with Frank Oliver Beans, and we'll do a whole judgment thing. No, no, really, I had some real clarity on it last night that I really want to talk about.
I got a whole emotional release process just on judgments and denial.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's how
well,
big it is. Yeah, I
well,
do. Matter of
well,
fact, it's a ritual of how to get rid of your damn judgments. What it is
well,
a
well,
very
It's
powerful
hard. It's hard.
spiritual ritual. So you
well,
take the judgment and then the process and you say, get out and go. And you have all these things. And then you get rid of that judgment and then you go to the next one and the next one and the next one. After a while, your mind figures out, oh, don't have any more judgments because if it does, then we have to go through this damn ritual and then get rid of it. And so, and you actually train your mind to not be judgmental.
do you know what one of the most effective judgment tools for those who want us to be judge is
A
today?
hammer.
Political correctness is nothing but judgment, and there's nothing
Agreed.
really good, and there's nothing really good comes out of it either.
There's a
It's
lot of
all like it's judgment on steroids. It doesn't bring people together.
oh, it's
No.
not.
I mean, look at it. I mean, I was thinking this is one thing that came to me last night. I was thinking about Don
Well,
Rickles
this
or
is what I
whatever.
was saying. Now we're judging judges. We're
So
judging people like by judgments, right?
I don't think Coastal Chick would know about Don Rickles, but the other three of us are all about the same age, right? So we all know Don Rickles. Now look, he criticized and told jokes and racist jokes and all these things about everybody equally, but people could tell that it was coming from he's a good man. You could tell it was his energy was good. He didn't mean it, and you could tell that. And what it was done with a sense of humor, so people could look at it and just see the absurdity of it, right? You could see the absurdity of it, and it actually helped because like then you could see the humor and how stupid this is, and you could actually make changes or whatever. But this political correctness, do you know what I'm saying by that point? When it's approached when he did it with humor, you could just say, like everybody was laughing, and it was okay because people could see the absurdity of it, and so they could learn from it, whatever, and kind of but today. Um, there's no learning from it. It's just like, everyone's narking on everybody. Everyone's getting fired for things they said 30 years ago. It's judgment, judgment, judgment. And it didn't come around by mistake or by
No,
accident.
it almost feels like it's intentional divisiveness. It feels like people are intentionally being divided because as much as we're trying to grow as humans, it feels like we're being fed different things to intentionally divide us, to distract us from things that are really going on. That's how it feels to me.
Yes, but we all have our own mind to make our own decisions out of it too.
Yeah, we just need to go by our heart.
I don't even think that that's, I don't even think that that's think. I think that's a fact that that's what's going on. Coastal Check. Seems weird saying, that's a fact, Coastal Check. We're just going to call you Coast.
There you go. I
But
can't tell you my
no, but
real name. It'd be stealing my soul.
listen, the one thing that the slave owners or whatever you want to call them, the elite, uh, Illuminati, whatever name you have for them, the one thing that they fear is for us to come together and to realize we're all one and be connected. Because by us not being connected, we're easily controlled.
Yeah.
And that's why the media, the political correctness, all these things are tools to make us think that we're not one, we're not connected, and to try to focus on the differences that we have, the things we don't like about each other, instead of focusing on, hey, wait a minute, we're one, we can come together. It's like a very powerful tool.
It is, and I think jealousy comes into play with that too. I don't think that I don't know if we naturally have jealousy of people. I feel like part of that is we've been programmed that way. You know, everyone's like, oh, I see that, I need that, I want that, I'll go into debt, I need that, it's the new shiny toy. If I don't have it, I'm not as good as the guy that has it. And I feel like jealousy is promoted to help divide people as well. Like I know personally that as a younger person now, as an adult, like I'm 45, so I don't feel jealousy towards people. Like when there's people I care about and something positive happens for them or they work towards something, I am so genuinely happy for them. You know, I want to applaud them. I want to be their cheerleader. I'm really happy. But then you run into people where if the shoe's on the other foot or you work towards something or you're excited or something happens for you, all of a sudden somebody will come across with this jealousy and they don't feel this genuine happiness or positivity for something that you've accomplished or you've experienced. Instead, it becomes a negative, a judging negativity, like, why do they get that? They don't deserve that. And it's divisive.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. What do you think, Deborah? What do you guys think?
You know, what other people think is none of my business. I feel that, you know, I have my opinion.
Yeah, right?
I mean, if that's their opinion, everybody has their own opinion and they grow off their own opinion. I mean, they have to learn off of it. You know, I don't know. There's a lot of different scenarios, but I'm not jealous of people. I have a family member who thinks I'm jealous of, I won't get into names or anything, but I'm not. And I don't know why they think that. I'm not jealous of anybody. I'm me, they're them. You know?
Yeah,
have a right to their own,
we have our own fingerprint.
I think people have a right to their own feelings. That's where they are in life. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I was in a different perspective before my son was killed. Let's give that example. And then when he was killed, I needed to learn more. And I did learn more by reading and investigating and experiencing. So I came up with my own, my sharings and stuff are all my own experiences. I can't talk on something I don't know about unless I have experienced it myself. You know, just like when, you know, you think, you know, you believe in Jesus or whatever, you don't believe in him. But when you ask to see him and he comes to you right in front of you in a waking state, as you're waking, then you know it's real. So experiences are big for me. I have to have an experience. I like a validation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, validations are very cool.
I wanted to ask Mr. Bean something on that. I mean, I think that you know, the media, peer pressure, all this stuff promotes jealousy. You know, the culture promotes jealousy. But do you think it's something inside of us, or just something that we're taught, Mr. Beans?
It's life or death to the Sasquatch people, because when they are judged as monsters, when they are judged as animals, when they are judged as some kind of meat, some whatever it is, then people go out there and shoot them. People go out there and kill them, and they have factions of the government. So if Sasquatch takes a cow, then the government will step in there, and these guys will go out and hunt them and kill them. Sometimes they kill the whole clan, and this is the result of judgment. And it's the same kind of stuff. The white people judged the Indians as being wild Indians. They judged them, and they got this, and then they went out and killed millions and millions of Indians, right, and enslaved. So the dark side of judgment is huge. When they say that the Indians are 4/5 of human, and black people are half human, or whatever. It's just, those are judgments. But let me tell you, they are life or death. There's people right now killing Sasquatch, killing other humans, killing Dogman, you know, burning down the forest, all from these just ideas, which are judgments. You know, the Jewish bankers think they're better than everybody else, and the politicians think they're better than it's all this judgment. You know, I'm big, you're little, you know, that's a judgment. And the man is superior to the woman, and that's a judgment. You know, parents are superior to the child, and that's a judgment. You should do what I say, and who owns who, and judgment, judgment, judgment. And nobody's feeling their heart. When you judge, it's not usually from your heart. It's just from
No.
your concept of what's right and wrong. But
Where does judgment come from?
it comes from a fragmented mind, and a fragmented mind comes from an abused childhood.
So it's not part of our DNA. It's
I don't
something that's
think
a learned behavior, is what you're saying?
I think it comes from ego. The
Yeah,
ego is part of our
it's
being.
it's generational. So you have generational trauma, you have generational wounds. Like racism or sexism went around for thousands of years. Men were seen as better than women, and women were lower. Women couldn't vote, and women were to be used. Women were property. Those are judgments, and it was a big deal, and a lot of people got hurt. And so you had all this stuff of men are better than women, or parents are better than children, or the rich are better than the poor. These are judgments, and people's lives are being ruined by this shit.
Oh,
You know, people being killed by it.
Yeah. I mean, judgment is the mother of fear and all the negativity that goes on. And like I said, love is a state. Pure love is there's no judgment in that. That's where the Sasquatch reside, on the vibration of love and no judgment. I know because they've shown me that. I've been there. Sometimes I am there. As a matter of fact, I'm going to really try. I think I've kind of digressed a little bit. Well, not really. I'm growing it, but in the sense of judgment, I've got to get back to that no judgment, because when I'm judging, especially in the world today, it's hard not to. But when I'm judging, my vibration just plummets. It just plummets. It's so obvious. I mean, just think about it. People can do a test. They can think about something positive, loving, and see how it makes them feel. And then judging is like total opposite. It's one's a very high vibration, one's a very low vibration, and you should be able to actually feel it.
And then there's self-judging.
I think that when you're judging, it takes you away from being in the moment as well. If I'm focusing on things like, say, what's happening in the world and how things are affecting people, or judging how it's affecting people, or what the potential outcome could be, I'm not in the moment. I'm not feeling what's really happening around me. I'm not feeling the energy. I have a hobby farm, and I'm distracted from what I'm growing and the animals that I'm communicating with. It distracts me and completely takes me out of the moment. And when I'm in the moment is when I'm the happiest and I'm the purest, and when Sasquatch can communicate with me. The rest is like being caught in like a sticky flypaper trap.
Right.
It
Absolutely.
blocks everything. And I think we are constantly bombarded by things that put us in that mindset. And I really feel like it's intentional that we're getting pulled into that mindset, because when we're in the moment, we can use all of our energy to affect the environment around us and the people around us. But when we're caught in this alternate reality where we're affected by it and our energy goes there, we're being robbed of our abilities, of what we can do.
Absolutely. Judgment is so rampant.
Question for the round table.
Hey, hold on a second, J Beans. I have to ask. Hold on. I have to ask you something.
Go ahead. Yeah, I'm listening.
Sue said that your mic was unbelievably loud, and everyone else she could hardly hear, and that she turned it off.
So maybe I'll turn my gain down.
Well, no, but you sound good to me. I'm just wondering, are we still live on Facebook? And could you ask somebody how the volumes are?
We're still live on Facebook. However, you can't see it live if, like, when I share it to groups, because
why?
Facebook is not transmitting it. However,
wait a minute though.
Listen, it's being recorded on Facebook Live. I'm watching Facebook Live right now, but it's too much for the computers to handle it, so you can't see it.
Well, why were people answering my questions then, if they can't see it?
People can, some people can't. It has to do with how good their computer connection is.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway.
Listen, we're at 2 hours and 41 minutes, so maybe we should wind it down when we get to the end of this.
But I mean, I just wanted to say about judgment. It's just so rampant in our society. Wherever, you look at somebody and I don't like her lipstick or something because it's black, and then you're judging. Then you think, oh, she must be to use one of our term, she must be a tart or something or whatever, or she must be a loose morals. And then you go to another judgment. It's just like judgment, 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 judgment. And all these judgment that just from your initial judgment, you never get to see the core of the person. You never get to see who they are, whatever. It's just like, I don't like her lipstick. She must be this. And she follows, these people, and she's this religion, and she does this and she does that, and I don't like the way she looks, and whatever. It's just
Well,
judgment
you
after
miss out on
judgment.
their story.
What's that?
You miss out on their story because you're so busy judging the cover of their book. You miss out entirely on their story and what connections you can make.
Yes, you don't connect with them at all. You don't know anything about them because when you start off judging right off the bat, that connection is gone.
Yeah, it's like slam over.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So my
It's
question is for the little round table is, are we sinners? That's a good question. That's a judgment. You are a sinner. Are you born in sin? Think about that.
No,
I don't think so.
Yeah.
We all have to experience.
I don't think so.
And children for the last 1,000 years were beaten because they were born in sin, and they wanted to make sure that a willful child is beaten so that it beats the will out of the child, so it's not opposed to God. This has been going on for like 1,000 years, you know what I mean? So that's one judgment. The judgment is that you are sinners, right? Or that you're not good enough, or that you're not worthy, or that you're not allowed love, or you're less than somebody else. These things are devastating, and they affect your health. They affect your whole reality. Think on this. If you think on this, if you actually have the judgment that I'm not allowed love, what does that do to your life? Not allowed love from my dog, not allowed love from my husband or wife, not allowed love from God, not allowed love from my family, is not allowed. You see what I'm saying? It just screws your whole love life. It's like you never, even when you're being given love, because you have that belief, you can't feel it.
Mhm.
Just one judgment. How powerful is that?
or you're not worthy of it.
Or you're not worthy, or you don't
That's
deserve
a
it.
good one.
Well,
Not worthy. Yeah.
Well, you know what, Beans, and I know I'll be the enemy of all organized religions or whatever, but like that sinner thing and heaven and hell and all that stuff, it's just the same old story that's been going on for millennium. Like the news media or whatever. It's fear, control by fear.
Yeah. Programming your
Behave, or you're going to hell. Behave, or this is going to happen to you. So it's just the age-old story that's been going on for forever. Control, fear.
Did you guys ever see that sci-fi movie with like Roddy, where he picked up these sunglasses and all of a sudden he could see that the aliens were intermingled and all the billboards and TVs were saying obey, work, obey.
Yeah. Roddy Piper.
That's it. That movie, I saw that and it really impacted me. And yeah.
That's funny, because my friend Randy Barnes, he just actually last month, he sent me that movie on when I was at work and said, watch it.
Yeah.
He was talking about it. It's quite a good movie. Yeah, it's good. Yeah,
What's
it is.
I can't remember the name of it. If you look up that guy, Roddy
Piper.
They Live or something, or They Live. That's the name of the movie.
I think it is that. Yeah, I think that's it.
I watched it as a kid and it really had an impact on me. And as an adult, I've rewatched it. It's just scarily accurate.
I don't watch TV, so if it's
One
on Prime, Amazon Prime, I'll see it.
I only see quality programming like the Pork and Beans show.
That one you can actually go on YouTube and watch it. You can watch the entire movie, I think, free.
Oh, YouTube?
Yeah, and what was it called again?
Yeah,
They Live, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had this great scene in there where he was trying to show the glasses to another guy. And so he's awake, right? He's awake. And he sees this stuff. He's seeing all this stuff, right? He says, look through these glasses. And the guy said, no, I won't. And they ended up getting in a fight, and they fought. It was like the longest fight in a movie. It was like about 3 minutes of these guys fighting and fighting and fighting, and finally, you know, he wins it and sticks the things on his face, right? And to me, that was the metaphor
Yeah.
of trying to wake up people. It's like it's a struggle. I mean, you'd have to fight them to the very last breath to get them to wake up.
Yeah.
Okay, what is the name of it?
They Live.
They
I think.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Or type in Roddy Piper movies.
Oh, I think I found it. YouTube movies. It says rent or buy.
The one he sent me, I got for free. Anyway, yeah, that was a good movie. So, yeah, like, so I've made my mind up, man. I'm going to go back to where I was. I mean, I'm moving on my journey or whatever, but, you know, with the things going on in the world today, I found that I've been too judgmental again. And I'm just really going to I'm just not going to judge anymore, or I'm going to really, really try get back to where I was, because that's where I want to be personally.
I found it. It's They
And
Live.
you have
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, because judgment, there's no positivity that comes out of judgment. It's all negative, 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 and you just never get to the.
Go ahead to you. She's saying go ahead to Coastal Chick. You didn't hear that part.
I did hear that.
Oh, I was just saying that's awesome, Brian, that you're doing that. I find that I have to stop and check myself and make a conscious effort to be there, because we fall out of that state of just being in the moment, and we get caught up in that stuff. You know, and you have to consciously make an effort to not be there. You
Yeah,
have to make an effort to be in the moment and from your heart. You know,
but
we
I've
have to work
yeah,
at it because it's been in there so deep.
but I've got that strong foundation of teaching from the Sasquatch people. So thankfully, when I am judging, and actually, no, you know what? I've always felt like that. So I guess, you know, the connection's always been there. When I'm judging, I feel dirty. It feels wrong. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel right. It feels like I shouldn't be doing this. It like, stop it. Like it's, you know, like it just feels terrible. It's not something I want to do. So I'm constantly being, uh, that knowing is being reinforced. So that's where I want to
I'm
be.
very
I put the link.
so that's awesome. I'm very empathic, so I've noticed that I tend to hide away on my little farm with my animals because you don't have that judgment. And as soon as you're out with people, you really can pick it up, or you can get caught in it. And I have to check myself, or I'll notice it around me, and I'll pick up the negativity. And when I'm home with all my animals, that's not there. It's a haven from that.
Yeah, like I said, it's so rampant, people aren't even conscious of it. It's just like, it's just what we do.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So, yeah.
It feels like a collective thing. It feels like if you're around it, it feels like you get sucked into it sometimes. You know, I guess because everything's energy. If you're around people that are putting off that kind of energy, it's contagious.
Yeah. But I think that we just have to, if you look at it from, we're all on our road, we're all on our journey. No one's ahead of anybody. No need for jealousy. No one's behind. We're just where we are because that's where we're at.
Yeah.
And so, you shouldn't judge that person because they're just living their experience. They're living their lessons.
Yeah.
And their lessons maybe are something that are not our lessons, but, you know, they're their lessons. So we should respect that, even though, you know.
You remember that poem I mentioned last week called that I said it was 3,000 words long that I wrote on the 91 freeway bumper to bumper, you guys?
Yeah. Yes.
I titled that Judgment Day, but it started in court. And then I finished it on 2 weeks driving on that bumper to bumper freeway. But it ended up the whole situation with that guy who killed my son. The whole ordeal was a lesson in forgiveness. So I forgave him. So even though it's titled Judgment Day, it's actually partly written by my son, but it was a great learning tool for me.
Yeah, because love and forgiveness there's no judgment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, theoretically, anyway.
I think that it's because we are entwined. Remember, I wrote the three life insurance policies, and one of them, he was the one that killed one of my client's sons back in '85, and he also killed my son. But it was an accident then, and it was kind of an accident this time. But he used his own judgment, and it led to a death and some injuries and stuff. But that was his lesson in life.
Hard lesson for the people who he affected, but
Yeah.
although your son's fine.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
I'd like to end this pork and bean show with a sort of like a more loving note. There is dark. We need to, part of our awakening is there is dark in the world, but we need to also remember that there is great love, and the ET people and the Sasquatch people and the people who are awake are showing great love, and that needs to be the focus. And it's possible to be in your heart and activate your heart and feel your heart, more. You know, uh, you don't have,
yeah.
you don't have to be a fanatic, but at least to be able to feel your heart more. And that's one of the things that the Sasquatch people do. They make you excited, they make you awaken, they make you feel your heart more. And the ET people do the same thing. They make you feel your heart more, and they're more awakened, and you love nature, then you love your dogs, cats, and animals and people. And I think that's what the awakening is really about. And judgment is antithetical to that heart space.
There is no awakening with judgment.
Mm-hmm.
That has to go. And I know that because, like I said, when I was in that love zap, and since, that's where the Sasquatch reside, in the energy of love and no judgment. That's where they want us to be. That's where the change, the transition, the whatever you want to call it, happens. So it's crucial. To me, that is right up there with their biggest message, if not the biggest.
I agree.
I'll let everybody have a say, and then I'm going to close down the Facebook Live. We can still go on with the other one if you want a little bit. Because Brian has control of the Zoom. So any last words for the masses out there, Coastal Chick and Deborah?
Be in the moment. Be in the moment. Be in your heart. Be alive, because you only have the moment that you're living right now. You don't have tomorrow yet. You don't have yesterday. You only have right now. That's what I'm trying to live.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have to live in the moment.
Yeah.
You can't be anywhere else but now.
Yeah. And you have control over how you're being in this moment,
Mm-hmm.
how you're reacting to it, how you're feeling, what vibes you're putting out. You have that right now. So that's my last words, and love to everybody. I really enjoyed this.
Love to everybody. That's it. Love to everybody. I think that's a great way to end it.
Love is exciting and new. Remember that one? Come aboard. Oh, I got a frog in my throat.
Everybody wave goodbye.
This is like the what?
Goodbye. Goodbye on Facebook. You can
Oh,
still
okay.
keep this thing going.
That's why I hate giving you control of anything.
Let go, buddy. Let go. Ain't none of us in control. All love.
Hey,
Bye-bye.
wait a minute. Hold on a second. Have you pressed it yet? Have you pressed it yet?
No.
Well, let me do my little.
Man of honor.
Let me do my closing ceremonies then.
Okay.
Can I at least do that?
Absolutely.
Hang on a second.
Well, thank you for letting me have part of your now. Oh, perfect. Yes.
Anyway, this is Port Cunningham, and I'm the host of the Pork and Bean Show with the world's handsomest man, Frank Oliver Baines. And we'd like to thank you all for coming by and being on the Pork and Bean Show today. And our special guests, Coastal Chick and Deborah, kind of a regular contributor. Thank you very much. That was stupider than hell, man. That wasn't even funny to me.
That was good, but I'm going to cut it off now. Bye, everybody. Thanks for showing up. It's been complete chaos, and thanks for putting up with us. End of the video.
Thank you.
End now. Bye.
Bye.
I think my daughter's doing your 2 T-shirts this weekend. It was kind of,
Oh,
and I had
So-
to get some supplies the other day, so she couldn't work on it that day. But they should be done by this weekend.
So now we're on YouTube.
Yep.
Now we're still live on YouTube. How does that for a dual reality? We're in 3 different dimensions.
oh, I get it now. So now YouTube came on because the Facebook one's done.
YouTube, you've been live on YouTube this whole time.
I have.
Yeah.
How about you guys? Are you guys live on it too?
Your voice just went right off the charts now. As soon as I turned off I don't know why.
Well, I'm interested to hear how it sounds actually, because Sue said she couldn't even listen to it. It was your voice, she said, was so loud, which kind of made me feel good. You get blamed for something.
I know. I try to turn my volume up because when I was listening to the recordings, my volume goes way down. So I don't know what's going on.
I don't know.
Michael has a nice microphone. I'm going to get one of those too. It's a nice.
I don't think it really does anything. I thought it did, but it,
That's all I need is a big time microphone. Can you imagine that?
that would at least give you some control over your,
Well, you told me we're not supposed to be all about control, and now you're encouraging me to be in control. You're sending me mixed messages, Mr. Beans.
You have to be in control of yourself. Be in control of yourself. That's the only reality you have is the self.
Wouldn't that be judging myself?
No, you would be protecting yourself from evil.
Oh. See, that's why you're a wizard. You dispense words of wisdom.
The duality world is just for us to know what's good and bad, the difference.
You're like the gumball machine of wisdom. You put a quarter in, and a gumball of wisdom falls down. And
talk about Sasquatch, and you had Coastal Chick. You had such beautiful stories about. You have to be an insider. You have to know about the spiritual connection to know. This Sasquatch coming, held me down, and all this stuff kind of. And wow, what a great story, And then your life changed.
I didn't like them. They made me really, really jealous.
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
That's real. Jealousy is real. I want to have nice things happen to me all the time, but they give you a little shot here, and they may not give you another one for 6 years, but they keep poking you, and you keep going on.
Absolutely.
Well, they somewhat chastised me this morning, I guess, if you want to call it that. I took a moment and I got in my heart and I said, okay, I'm going to do this today. And I hope everything's all good with you guys, that I'm sharing these experiences. And I haven't heard from you a while. And I got told that I was back paying too much attention to the things in the world that weren't real. And they can't get through to me when I'm doing that. So if I'm not hearing them, it's my own fault, basically. And it was kind of a gentle admonishment, but I felt like a chastised child. And I had to agree that it was 100% correct. And I need to be more in the now. Like you're saying, no judgment. I need to not get caught up in that because they cannot get through to me when I'm caught up in any of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, that's perfect sense. Go ahead, Deborah.
Oh, I just said I believe that. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's hard in these days with everything going on and whatever, not to judge, but it's a challenge, but I'm going to get back to where I was. I mean, I've got the foundation, so I'm not that far off, but I just find myself slipping and forgetting a little bit. But like I said, every time I do it, I get that this feels dirty, it feels wrong, it's not right. So they're not letting me get away with it. They're calling me on it right away. Or I'm calling myself, maybe my higher self, whatever. Somebody's calling me on it right away. So that's good.
That's what's nice about doing Heartlight meditation.
I tried that a couple nights in a row.
Yeah, is that, you instead of looking at the world, you're looking at how your breath goes in and out your body, and how it goes into your heart, and how it feels to have the breath go into your joints and your arms. There's the front of you, and then you can feel the back of you just from your breath, just from concentrating on your breath. And if that becomes interesting or worthy, then that you spend quite a lot of time actually just feeling all the, here I am, 70 years old, have no soreness in my joints. I used to be a carpenter, stood up on my feet for 40 years straight, right? I have no soreness because when I breathe into it, you breathe energy into your joints and you breathe it into your heart, breathe it down into if you breathe it down into your pelvis, it goes out to your toes, and you know, and all these little joints that they all need like breath. The breath carries the electric current and the life force. And you work through all these, and go to the top of your head, and you can fill up your head with energy, and that energy is love. It's just and it's light, is love and light. So that's
It's
what's nice about doing heart light meditation.
I think that
that's
when
one
you
thing I know.
go ahead.
I just that's one thing I noticed, that when I've had an interaction with a Sasquatch afterwards, I've had a body that's been damaged in car accidents. So there's a certain amount of pain that you have with that, but they've improved a good part of it. But when I've had a connection with them for a couple hours or more afterwards, I literally feel my entire body and every cell is connected. There's no pain. I just feel amazing, like I can do anything. And I'm trying to be in that mindset all the time.
Yeah. Have you ever
Yeah.
heard people say, like, like you're bringing your pain and your maladies on yourself by your negativity and by your hatred or whatever? That really is true.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
True. It is true.
no, it really is. And I'm not, well, I mean, myself, for example, and I'm nobody special or whatever, but I try not to live that way. And I'm 66. I don't have any pains whatsoever. Not a pain anyway. I feel, I
I
don't
think
really feel any.
that's Sasquatch love, and we can do it too with our own natural energy. Is that when that energy vibrates, uh, that's like electric. It's like liquid electric current, and that's what lubricates everything. You
Yeah.
just feel it.
I
Yeah.
think that negativity is poisoned even to our bodies and whatever, like yeah.
The Sasquatch showed me that it's almost like a black goo. It gets in us and it fills us, and we have to consciously try and keep it out because it infects us. And if they're around people that are constantly in that mindset, they can be infected. They have to be careful as well.
That's interesting you said that because remember we had that lady on Mr. Bean's, what was her name now? Uh, she's from British Columbia too. And she was talking about black goo or something.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Is that the same thing? Do you think?
yeah. No, yeah. There's well, that theoretically, that there's a black goo that is supposed to be part of the earth, or like an infection of the earth, but it can infect people. It's like oil. But
So that's what Coast was talking about?
I don't know.
Yeah, they just showed me that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that people can be infected by negativity like an illness.
absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
it's just dark, it's over, and we can be infected that way. And we have to be conscious of that. And they're aware of it. They can tell when people are infected. They said that's part of how that's how they're trying to get people to wake up, because people are being poisoned. People are being poisoned so that they don't know their abilities. They need to be woken up, need to be filled with light to push the blackness out.
Yes.
Causes
That
just
and that's how we're
Part of it has to do with judgment too.
That's what I was just going to
yeah.
say. Get rid of judgment, and everything will take care
Better.
of itself.
Yeah.
Everything
There's
will come into place.
there's a really interesting scientific experiment they did with frog eggs and salamander. What they did is they took took a live adult salamander, and they had these little frog eggs, right? A frog egg's supposed to grow up and be a frog, right? So what they did was they took a laser and pointed the laser at the salamander. And this laser was like one of these scanning lasers that will produce an image, a holographic image. So it's a laser, the scanner that produces a holographic image. And what they would do is they took the holographic image of the salamander, the adult salamander, and projected it onto the frog egg. And they kept doing this, right? Then the frog egg slowly, you know how it becomes a little tadpole and gets its little legs. It eventually became a salamander. The frog became the salamander by the light of the image of the salamander forced on it, right? Now, when we have so our energy field, right? When we have bad self-image, we have judgments and denials, we have these kind of things inside of us, right? It is exactly like a projector being projected into your body. So I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. There's something wrong with me. I can't get what I want. All I get is grief, and life is a struggle. You have these things projecting. These are thought forms that are projecting into your energy field, and you get disease.
Yeah, thoughts are things.
You get disease.
Yes.
Thoughts are things, and
Things.
they can stay there for a long time, 40, 50 years, until you let them go, until you find them and release them. You know, they're disease, but then when you look at them, it turns out that they were a judgment. There was long-standing casting its shadow onto you, and that's what they would say would be the black goo. But it's very real.
Absolutely.
Did you guys ever see anything to do with Dr. Emoto, Messages in Water?
Yeah.
Did you? Because I thought that was such an awakening thing for me. I got to hear him speak live. I got to meet him, and I loved his Messages in Water and how different thoughts and words spoken at water changed the water, the molecular structure of the water.
Yes.
And they cleared lakes. It was amazing.
Or plants.
Just with giving them love. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Plants too.
Yeah.
Plants. You tell one plant, I hate you, and and talk negative to it, whatever, and and the next plant you say, I love you, and you're beautiful, and and connect with it. It's gonna grow up to be there's going to be a marked difference in how it grows and how it looks. And
yeah, it's true. I'm now in a position where I have my 5-year-old grandson now lives with us Sunday night through till Friday evening, and he's autistic, and he hasn't had some very good experiences up till now, and he's really, really thriving now. And part of that is I have to remind myself to be in the moment with him and be really conscious of the energy that I share with him. So it's kind of funny. He's autistic and he has a hard time processing his emotions. And I'm someone who has no filter and just react to life as it is. And I'm supposed to be leading him. So I'm not sure if this is a nightmare or if it's supposed to happen that way. But it's true, because when I really dig deep and I'm really conscious of the energy that I have around him, he's affected. You can see how he is affected with different energies.
I did an interview with Mashiko Hayachi, who took over from Dr. Emoto. We did an interview with her. We talked about that, the crystals and how water affects things. Yeah. That's very real. So blessing water. When this is all whole stuff, you bless your water, bless your food, you bless you bless your environment. These little things just they're practical. Prayer is a contact modality. It's practical.
It's energy.
It's energy. Yeah, it's very high energy. Yeah.
It's true. I'll say to my husband, whenever we don't have to worry about things, because whenever we need something, it happens. There has never been a time that we haven't desired something to happen or needed something to happen where it has not just unfolded for us. It's how it works.
But that's also like a clearing, like that is like one of the things that I say to my body is, look, you can eat anything, and you can deal with anything because you're magical, right? So I don't worry about what I eat that much. You know, I eat kind of simple. It's not nothing, right? But I don't carry around this thing of like, don't eat the water, don't drink this, or oh, this is not organic, and a vegetarian, and don't kill. You know, I don't do any of that. None of that. Whatever goes into my mouth, my body is magic, right? And it transmutes it into life and energy. Now, this is a program that
Yep.
I have. This is judgment's a program that I have that is positive, and you have one too. You just said your program, which is everything works out for me, everything unfolds for me. You see, that's a positive program that you've installed into it's in your energy being, right? It may or may not be true, but because you have that in there, it's going to align the whole universe for that way, you know.
Yeah, it's true. You don't push the river. It flows by itself. As long as you're in alignment and you're in that flow, it works for you. It's when you start putting in that negative energy and that judgment, or I can't do this, or I'm not worthy, that you're creating your own blocks.
True.
Which gets back to the judgment thing.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, you do need to do an entire show on judgment. That's right.
No, I want to do it because I had, like I said, I had a lot of clarity on it the other night. Yeah, we should, Beans. We'll do one. But did you turn your mic up or something, Beans? Or did you change something? Because Sue says that you are like booming loud. I've said this before, and like everyone else, you can hardly hear. Did you make some adjustments?
I've been messing around with my speakers.
Well,
So
whatever you've done is not good.
listen, here's what it is, okay? Walk this through in your mind. I'm on Facebook Live. So Facebook Live is hooked up to my microphone, right? But I'm recording from Zoom on Facebook Live. So that's coming through the Zoom. So whenever I speak in my microphone, it's going to be louder than the Zoom, because you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, she's saying she had to turn it off because you were so loud that it was unbearable. Kind of like,
Yeah. Well,
which makes me feel really, really good.
yeah, because I did the same thing you did. See, I was judging you, and I was the one who should have been judged and put in my place. I was the center of sound.
He sounds fine to me. He's not loud here.
Yeah, but that's because you're on. It's because you're on the Zoom. If you had, so what happens is we have a failure of Zoom and Facebook compatibility. So,
Well, I think we gotta work out the technical difficulties here with the sound and all these different things somehow.
you got to figure out how to get this thing working right. You got to put some more time into it, because if you got it working right 21 times and then 2 times it didn't work, you know, I don't know. Something simple got to be figured out, because you had it working yesterday.
I almost feel like what is it, $15 a month?
It's not worth it if we can't get on Facebook.
No, but I mean, I can afford an extra $15. I almost feel like sponsoring or buying you a subscription so that we can have like backup, and that you can, I don't know.
Well, what we need to do is go to OBS. OBS is like a program that is for podcasts, and you can broadcast it wherever you want, and you can run Zoom on OBS.
What's OBS?
It's like a free application for broadcasting on the internet.
Well, whatever. I mean,
Open broadcast system, or open something like open streaming system, something like that. It's like a StreamYard. StreamYard is an application. You pay $15 a month for that, and then you can. That's what everybody else is using StreamYard, because they can post to both YouTube and Facebook at the same time.
maybe I should cancel my Zoom and go on StreamYard.
Well, what's nice about Zoom is because StreamYard, you have to do this whole rigmarole to get it going up. But the Zoom, you can get like 4, 5, 6 people on. It's a lot more fun that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if everybody's laying down talking all sexy in their headset. Well, you guys, thank you so much for letting me be a part of your now. We've got a sunny day for the only one in 10 days, and I'm going to go play outside in paradise with my husband here.
You haven't been excused yet.
Bye bye.
We call the shots here.
Bye bye. Push the button and say goodbye. Push the button and say goodbye.
Okay, we'll let you go out of the
We
kindness
have
of our heart.
separation anxiety. Frank, the pork and beans has separation anxiety. We just can't let go.
And no, I want to personally thank you though for your stories because absolutely remarkable stuff. Like just what a crash course and just high intensity, high level teaching or whatever. It's just beautiful.
It's all connected. That was what's so powerful.
Yeah.
I will have to go back and listen to it because I got on late. I will.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Interested.
It was really, really nice to meet all of you. You
Yeah.
know, I enjoyed that a lot. Thank you very much.
Well, go and enjoy your day, and I think I'll do the same thing pretty quick. So thanks for coming on, and yeah, it was wonderful.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully next year we'll all be around a campfire together.
Could be.
That's what I'm hoping. Well, I mean, you're from BC, so you could be regardless, unless something really drastic happens. But hopefully they'll open up for our friends across the line too.
Yeah, it'll be good. All right. Well, peace out, you guys. Much love and gratitude.
See ya.
Bye.
Okay, now we can talk about her now that she's gone.
I'm still here.
Oh, you're still there? Wait a minute. We're trying to talk about
sweater.
you.
That looks like a hand knit sweater. That's a nice sweater.
Will you get off so we can talk about you, please? What is she doing? I guess I'll take her off. She's kind of
She said it's a sunny day where she's at, I guess in Canada. It's nice here because it's not sunny for a change. We have clouds and it's like overcast. I like that. It's really cool today. It's not hot.
It's raining here in Savannah.
Is it? Georgia?
Yeah.
Georgia. How do you pronounce it down there? Georgia.
I don't know.
You don't have an accent from there.
No, my accent is sort of like Midwestern accent, but I lived all around the United States when I was getting my accent.
How did you describe yourself before you saw that guru guy? You were kind of like a redneck hippie.
Redneck hippie, yeah.
More redneck, right?
Yeah, depends. Went in and out.
Well, anyway, I'm anxious to see how this actually sounds. But yeah, Beans, we've got to.
You got some editing to do.
We got to get the technical difficulties out of here somehow.
You ever figure out how to do the editing of the sound on your you know?
I can lower it, yeah.
On your you know when you play it back to record it on YouTube or something, you can play around with the sounds. When you know if it's bad, you can turn some down and some up.
Well, then I would have to do like put the like the scissors and do it in individual sections and then lower the volume.
Every time you talked or every time I talk, you'd have to cut them and then you can adjust the volume.
Yeah, I could do that, but that would be that'd be a lot of work.
Yeah, that's why we need to get the mics figured out if we can, if it's possible. I don't know if it's possible.
Maybe there's a tutorial on YouTube on how to do it.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go back and listen.
I think it's your headphones because your headphones are Bluetooth. So that's when you turn up your headphones, it's turning up the whole computer, and that's what's going on here.
Yeah. You know what? Let me. I just want to try an experiment here. Oh no, I'm still recording. Okay, so yeah.
Still recording, yeah.
I guess I'll do that when I'll stop the recording.
Look, just take your headphones and turn them down and see if Deb can tell the difference in the volume of your voice. Just turn them down. Except you got to say it's testing, testing, testing. Okay.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Sounds kind of the same.
Yeah, and it's worse because I can barely hear you. So because I'm kind of deaf.
When I took that week-long course on Zoom and I had my headphones on, they could hear me fine, but I had a hard time hearing them. So I have to learn how to do that myself.
You
Hmm.
can't even get in touch with Zoom. Here's what we get. You took a course on Zoom. Here you go. See, you took a course on Zoom. Did they teach you how to get
No.
No.
It was the hypnotherapy class I took.
on that Zoom? Okay.
Yeah.
You need to figure out how it's because the Zoom has this thing, right? He pays $15 a month for Zoom, so we can go for long hours and have a lot of guests. But it's supposed to have this function where you can go from Zoom to Facebook. In other words,
You're welcome.
Okay.
I'll bet there's a tutorial on that on YouTube. They got everything.
yeah. But so we did this show like
Sorry.
20 times, and now it's just quit working.
Huh. I don't know.
Anyway, I'm gonna go. It's time
Yeah,
to
I am
go.
too.
See you later. Thanks for taking care of business. Thanks for showing up.
Thanks. All right. Catch you later then. Bye.
Now,
You're going through an ascension process that's gonna hurt.
Yes, it is.
Over bridge of sights to rest my eyes in shades of green, under dreaming spires to Ichiku Park, that's where I've been. What did you do there? I got high. What did you feel there? Well, I cried. But why the tears there? Tell you why. It's all too beautiful. It's all too beautiful. It's all too beautiful. It's all too beautiful. Inclined to blow my mind, get hung up, the decks were red wine. They all come out to groove about, and I sat have fun with the sun. Tell you what I'll do. What will you I'd like to go there now with you. You can miss out school. Won't that be why go to learn the words of who? What will we do there? We'll get high. What will we touch there? We'll touch the sky. But why the tears there? I'll tell you why. It's all too beautiful. It's all too beautiful. It's all too beautiful. It's all too beautiful. Inclined to blow my mind, get hung up, beat the decks with a ball. They all come out to cool the night, and I sat have fun with the sun. It's all too beautiful. 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 It's all
Oh, that's a groove. That really is a groovy song there from the Small Faces.
How about some more beans, Mr. Taggart?
I'd say you've had enough.